All right, after 1.32 years in long sleep, the expiscore arrives in the Zenith system. Grav engines have begun 12 hours ago to shut down the grav engines and decelerate the ship. The grav engines have completely gone offline as the ship comes to a maximal deceleration in the Zenith system. And in the aft section of B deck of the expiscore, the Unit 2 long sleep hatch decompresses and begins to slowly open as our medical officer, Josh Barner, begins to awaken. Barner, your head throbs. You're breathing a little rapid. You expect this. Hearing is muffled, and your senses. You're not able to. Your brain is not able to make sense of your senses yet. You haven't fully awakened, right? So it's a muffled, noisy, splitting, thundering headache. Eyes take time as you adjust and awaken. You just make out something touching your right arm. You can't quite see it as you try to open your eyes. You can feel, though, something being removed from your arm. You hear, slightly distorted, very difficult to make out what is being said, but somebody is talking. It's like, you can't make it out, but you hear somebody speaking to you. In just a few seconds, you begin to tune that in, and you realize Sam, or Harold, the Sam member of the team, Harold, is removing your IVs from the long sleep unit. He is standing and providing whatever your personal protocol would have been upon wake. You can tell me now what that would have been. What would you have asked Harold to bring to you upon waking?
Ooh, my baseball cap.
Okay.
A Yankees cap.
Okay.
And
nice.
My glasses.
Great. And he stands with these items for you, as well as on a tray, water and your post-long sleep medication.
Okay.
You are certainly able to not take this. Life does not depend on this medication, but it would ease your hangover-like symptoms, especially after a year and 0.32 months of travel. So it might benefit you sooner than later. Generally, as you know, are you a doctor?
Yeah.
Okay. So being a doctor, yeah. I didn't know if you were like a doctor or just the medical officer. You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You know that it generally takes roughly 4 hours for the body to be completely, up to snuff. You don't always have 4 hours. However, protocol for this particular mission allotted you 4 hours of complete recovery, quick system checks, quick ship checks before you would begin to bring about your colleagues. Okay. He hands you your ball cap, your glasses. He helps you sit up if you sit up. And then, again, holds a tray with water. He'll grab a tray with water and the 2 pills. And the pills are in a packet, a punch-out packet. So they can be stored or, they're not free. They're in a punch-out packet so you can identify them. Again, very difficult to see. You do notice, though, immediately it is freezing. The temperature is not appropriate. It's cold. You can see your breath.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's dark. As your eyes adjust, you see only the floor lights are lit, and the floor lights are lit yellow, which means somehow there's a system failure somewhere in the ship. There's something ultimately amiss.
Okay, all right. But other than the yellow mood lighting, everything seems to be standard procedure.
Right.
Temperature, my symptoms. Nothing unusual about that.
No, you feel like a bad hangover, right?
But that's okay.
That to expect. You've been in some of these. You had to have been in some long sleep in your career, but this will be the longest you've ever had. This kind of journey.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You might feel worse than you expect, but outside of that, the only thing wrong is it's freezing. I mean, you're in just skivvies. You're in your undershirt and your
Okay.
And difficult to see Sam completely because there's no lighting outside the floor lighting. The floor lighting lights where the floor meets the walls. There is strips of light that run throughout the ship, so it helps you navigate the and it's yellow, but very difficult to make out any detail outside of that, especially now when your eyes and things are just adjusting.
Okay. I will swing over the side of the module, or what we may call it, and kind of give my eyes a rub, and then toss my cap and my eyeglasses on, and then I will. You said Harold was
Harold's he's your Sam. He's your human support unit android.
Okay.
This is a first generation Sam unit. It is 53 years out of date. Its life expectancy was 75 years. It is 123 years into its life expectancy. It's an early model. Okay. The Cartan Corporation originally, through psychological evaluation, decided that they wanted all their SAMs and all their vessels at this era to be 19 to 20-year-old looking subjects. They believed it made astronauts and workers more comfortable to be around an android that was younger, right? Like an internship type thing. So this is why he is younger looking. This particular...
So he's somewhat passable for human.
Only in that they gave him, fake flesh and eyes, etc. But his eyes generally blink slightly. His facial expressions are very mechanical. Smile, not smile, right? Yeah. He looks like a doll. Ultimately,
like a mannequin almost
like a mannequin. Yes, sir. Yep. His speech patterns are always very calm, no matter right, and very matter of fact, right? Just like a computer speaking, so to speak, right?
All right. Well, the first thing I'll do is I'll say, Harold, status. What's going on?
You can actually hear the mechanical movement of his head, so to speak, just a little bit. There's hums of the normal engines, hums of some of the machinery above your head. Again, most of the machinery and the engine and the guts of the ship are actually above your head in Deck A. And he basically, you tell now as he speaks, there's a slight hiccup in his speech pattern. The temperature systems are offline.
Okay. All right. I will glance to see if our the other crewmates' pods or whatever in this same room.
They're all in a line. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
To your right, 1 is open. Nobody's in it. That's to your right. 3, that would be that would be Jorian's character here. I can't remember his name now. Well, if I can get this thing.
McAllister.
Thank you, McAllister. Correct. He is in 3, and it is shut, and he appears to be... again, you can see a yellow light that outlines the window of his pod, and every light in here will be yellow because the whole system is yellow. And, of course, at the far end in 4 is the security officer, Dell's character. And, Dell, I do not know the name of your character.
Scott Mosca, but he goes, his nickname is Talon.
Talon?
Yeah, he's part of the Talon. He's got a tattoo on his neck.
Okay.
But he's part of the Talon group in the military.
Oh, one of those guys. Okay, all right.
Ex-military or current military? Like
ex-military.
a reservist?
He's moved on.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And you see he's sleeping again. There is on the side of these quick vitals. You can push a button on the side of these things, and they'll give you a quick rundown of their vitals if you're so inclined. Again, it's but they're there.
Yes.
But the right hand, far most right, Unit 1, empty. Pod
now,
open.
Empty as in
Nobody's
not used, or empty as somebody got out of it?
Empty as somebody got out of it. Shouldn't be out of it. Protocol says you're the first man to wake after year 3-2, right?
Okay, all right. So I will make note of that. But before I inquire with Harold about that situation, I will go to number 3 where McAllister is, and I will punch up his vitals just to make sure he's stable.
Yep.
And
Okay.
then can I initiate the pod
Yes, you can anytime you want. Right.
sequence?
Anytime you
Okay,
want. Yep.
so
you sure can.
I
You can
will
do
do
it
that
right from this
for him.
panel. You can start protocol
Okay.
to wake. Now the protocol to wake them is a normal purge active. Takes an hour. As I counted down in our Discord, how you were slowly waking up in that purge in an hour. You can do a faster purge, right? You can bring them
Okay.
up quicker.
Okay.
The danger of that,
Yeah.
as a doctor, could be stroke,
Yeah.
cardiac arrest,
Oh,
that kind of thing.
geez,
But you
okay,
could do it.
alright.
You could expedite their
Okay.
purge.
Okay. I don't
And
think
purge
I don't
refers
think
to
I'll-
getting rid of the deep sleep. That's why they call it the purge,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, I won't do an arrested purge. I'll just initiate the standard purge for the both of them if I don't see that the system has already started that.
No, it has not. You would have to.
Yeah.
These aren't automated. If you didn't
they're
wake
not.
up,
Okay.
they
Yeah.
wouldn't wake up.
Oh wow.
Because
Okay.
this was your job. Wake them once you
Okay.
verify where you're at and everything like that. So, but you can start the active purge now. You don't have to wait 4 hours or whatever. It's up to you. It's entirely up to you.
I will do so then.
Okay.
I will start the purge. And then
Sam,
I will. Go ahead.
Dr. Barner, that is not protocol.
Mm-hmm.
That's not protocol.
I'm sorry.
You are to wake them in after other procedures.
I say since it seems as though we have a technical failure on the ship, I've chosen to awaken them to initiate their purge as soon as possible, within the hour.
Affirmative.
I nod towards the pod number 1, I guess it is, and I'll say who was in that pod.
You hear again his neck zzz as he looks. Again, at this point, you somewhat notice a slight spark from the left side of his face as he turns.
Really?
And backs towards you. And he responds, "There is only three crew on this ship."
And is this so-called twitch of his, is this standard for him, or is this something
The spark,
that
you
never-
shouldn't be
or
able to
I've
see
never-
any kind of active mechanical.
Well, no, I
unless-
mean his stutter.
No, no. But again, he's really old. But the spark, definitely, he should have a face and skin, rubbery skin. The fact that you can see, and in the darkness, all you can see is this spark on his left side. You can't make out his features. It's too dark.
Wow, it's really dark. Okay. Is initiating light something that he can do, or do I need to do that?
You can order him to, or you can attempt to. Yeah, yep.
I will do it myself because I am concerned that he either became damaged or potentially was damaged by someone. So I will. I'll go ahead and initiate well, let me ask. What is my protocol after initiating the other to awaken the other crew members? Do I have anything specifically that I should know to do, or
mostly it is to confirm where you're at in space to make sure you arrived at least in the place you're supposed to be, and confirm there's not that life support is on, which clearly it is.
It is.
The temperature obviously is freezing, so that's going to have to be rectified. You can't live in this situation long. But those are the main. And then, of course, it was to recover. Protocol gives you 4 hours to physically recover if you needed it before you would bring them about, right? So, but outside of that, it's to make sure you're at least where you're supposed to be and that all systems are go, right? And debrief Sam, which in a way you kind of have, right? He just admitted there's a system failure somewhere, but that's all the sit rep that you've had so far with Sam. Or Harold.
And
you
is
call him Sam.
Harold? Yeah. And is Harold as far as repairs or things of that nature? Who would be the standard for that? I know it's not Talon with McAllister.
It would be engineering officer. Who I don't believe that is the other. We can pull him up here, right? Because I wasn't sure what Dell was going to do.
I think McAllister is science and engineering. Right?
Correct. Right.
Well,
that's,
you had engineering Jory's. For me, but
let's see here. So Jory is
secondary.
Yep. And the other missing person, I just want to double check that. The other missing person is Grant. He was navigation. Navigation.
Okay. Navigation and helm.
So we've got security and we've got engineer. You
got science officer and the science officer and security officer.
Oh, right. Science officer. Okay. So, but science officer is not engineer though. That's something different. Okay.
Correct.
So then, that being the situation, would Harold be?
Harold is a human support unit, so he is there almost like a ship maintenance to some degree. Ultimately, there, I will say, as a butler, but for the most part, he's the company man. He's supposed to monitor mission, supposed to remind you of protocol, supposed to maybe make dinner for you. You know, he's really an aide, less of a officer. I mean, he's not an officer, but he's capable of certain things. You can certainly give him an order. He may or may not be able to do that.
Okay, so I'll ask him to run diagnostics and determine why the systems are malfunctioning and why it's so damn cold in here.
Okay, so let's make a roll. Giving your, we're going to give an order to this guy, and we're going to use charisma, and you need an 8 to aid his assessment through the computer diagnostics. He begins to exit and leave, following out to head toward the bow of the ship, the bridge, which is where you would do most major computer work from the bow of the ship, or the science labs.
And that is a single D6?
Single D6, add your charisma to it.
Okay. All right, so... Okay, so that will give me a 7 total.
Okay, so that's partial success, right? Oh no, 8 would be partial success. Success would be a 9.
Oh, okay.
So that's a failure, but he's followed your orders and he's left and he's headed toward the front of the ship. Again, you can hear him on the gangplanks, so to speak, the metal mesh gangplanks, but you can't see him. Once he gets beyond a few feet, it's dark.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, all right. The lights in here are available on any wall pad unit. So you just got to find that wall pad unit and flip those lights on. So,
okay.
They will snap to in this particular chamber. So again, the lights blink, flash. A couple of bulb lights come on, lighting the long sleep unit. And it's, of course, yellow hue to it. But it lights only this chamber.
Okay. Right, this chamber? Okay, all right. So one other thing I like to do, please, is I would like to go to that pod number 1 and actually see if it has any personnel record tied to it.
Nice.
Name, anything, rank, anything.
So you key up the vitals panel. The vitals panel tells you that this pod was manually activated 6 months ago. The vitals for this individual was a accelerated purge. He was brought to consciousness in about 20 minutes. The vitals upon that were elevated. Elevated heart rate, elevated blood pressure, heavy breathing. The IV that records all these things had been removed from the arm, and that's all the data you're able to get. But he was at that, and the elevated levels weren't bad enough to kill him, right? So there wasn't like he was having a heart attack or anything. So as a doctor, they were just clearly he was awakened quickly, and he was awakened in a state of agitated state.
Okay. But no, nothing more specific. No name. No.
Oh well, yeah. It is Grant.
It was.
It is the other Grant. NPC character that was in the in the ship.
What specialty was or is Grant?
Grant was
Helm. I think it's helm and navigation.
Yeah, he was navigation and helm, right? So he's your pilot.
Pilot. Okay.
Yeah,
you're all
McAllister
capable.
should be science officer and engineer.
Yeah, you're all capable of doing any of these crew positions. It's just you won't get bonuses toward those things, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. So McAllister and Talon are on their way to waking up within the hour or whatever.
Yeah, and you can accelerate it anytime you want. It's been about 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to give
System
brain
shock
damage coming out, right? I don't think I need to do that at this point.
Okay.
Bless you.
Right, Harold is doing his thing, so I will try to, I guess, go to if there's a locker area or
into the living area, right? So out of here down the bulkhead into the living. So the living area, all of you would have individual cubicle living areas. So you would all have your own locker, your own bed, right? Almost like bunks on either side. So 2 on the right port side, 2 on starboard side, stacking. Excuse me, not stacking, but side by side. And yes, you can go right to your locker, and it is freezing. All right, again, as you're starting to shake a little bit, your feet on this mesh deck very cold. Skipping down moving down the hall. I don't know if you're skipping or not, but it's cold. And you're able to pull out a uniform, and this is a Cartan Corporation traditional jumpsuit. However, you could wear anything you've packed, civvies, whatever. It's up to you. But there is the traditional Cartan jumpsuit.
Okay. If that is whatever I may have in there that may be somewhat insulated, or I could put on the Cartan jumpsuit, and maybe if I have any kind of flight jacket or anything on top of it, I'll do that then.
All right, awesome. If not, we'll start making strength checks as you start to get really cold. Okay, and again, you can see your breath. So the one thing you know for sure, life support's working because you're breathing all right, and you can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the next thing I will do is I will walk over and punch one of the comms and see if maybe I can get Grant on there. I'll say, Grant, this. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so you're going to push in the intercom and ask around for Grant? Okay.
Yeah, I'll say, Grant, this is Barner. Check in.
And you can hear yourself echoing, from the bridge. You can hear yourself echoing on the intercom back in. I'm assuming you're using a ship-wide call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can hear it in the next room, and you can hear it in the deck above, in the different compartments, and below. You can hear it echoing up. And off the intercom, you hear it ring, and you hear Dr. Barner. There is no Grant aboard the Expiscor. And you hear it click off as he lets go of the button.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I will take that in, and then what I will do is I will go towards. Can I go towards the cubicle that would have been assigned to Grant?
Absolutely, you can. Yes.
Okay. All right. I would like to, and as I go, I guess what I would have to do is maybe activate the lighting. So I can see where I'm going and what I'm doing. And what I basically want to say is not that I don't believe Harold, but I don't believe Harold. So I'm gonna see if any of Grant's lockers have been disturbed or anything like that.
Yeah,
because even if
locker's
he's
ajar.
wear clothing.
Locker's ajar. His Cartan jumpsuit's hanging in the locker, but clearly somebody removed clothing, civvy clothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
There is actually. Let's make a check on this. This would be an education check.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that will give me a 10 total.
Okay. You spot on the locker itself a slight smudge, dark brownish smudge, and you see on his bed smudges of dark brown. You can tell this looks like dried blood.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. I will walk over is there? Can I tell if the smudges look like? Would it be almost kind of like in a handprint form, or is it just kind of like maybe just some random portion of his body maybe injured?
Yeah, it's definitely the blood smudges are where you would place your hand to open the locker. Blood smudge on the bed where maybe he sat down to put on boots or something, right? Okay. He set his hand down on the bed, left blood. So it's definitely blood on a hand.
Okay.
Smudges from fingers, maybe. Maybe some fingerprint can be slightly made out, right?
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's not good. All right. Okay, so Harold has been damaged to the point where he doesn't realize what's going on, and Grant is injured for some reason and is not answering the comms for some reason. So something's going on. Okay, I will look
real quick,
at my...
let's make a roll for Harold up front for his diagnostics check.
Okay.
And you're going to add your education to this.
Oh, okay. 7.
Okay, you hear the beep of the intercom lighting up, and you hear, and he only accesses the intercom in the living area. So it's not shipwide, and he stutters out that it appears as there may be a hardware damage in deck A of the temperature controls. That it's going to have to be manually remedied. He believes.
Okay, deck A temp controls.
Yeah,
okay.
Deck A2. So that'd be the
A2.
That would be the second section of the A deck.
Okay. Now, is that something that any one of us may be somewhat qualified for? Or
anybody, any of you can try anything. It's just if you're an engineer, you would have a bonus for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right.
But you're all going to be trained on how to do lots of this stuff, right?
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So the next thing I think I better do is head towards flight control and see, number one, if there's any evidence that Grant might have been there as well, and at the same time verifying that we're at the location, our destination.
Okay, so you're going to do that from the bridge, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So you'll pass through the bathroom portion. This would be where you would obviously utilize bowel movements and cleaning, and into the bridge, past the kitchen area. And can I assume you're turning on lights as you go?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
And into the bridge area, lights are still off. Again, obviously, Harold not dependent upon light to see. So you'll have to turn on the lights here. You can see monitors on. Some monitors are on in every station. Some monitors are they appear to be off. Again, protocol demands he turns on some units, but some units may not require, like flight control, not yet on. Things like that may not be on. As you approach navigation, that is on, and you can of course correspond. You can actually work on the computer base there. Right there to determine location, astro location, etc.
Okay.
Okay. Dale, I need you to make a strength check for me, sir. This is a hard check. You're going to need an 8.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, that's actually a 7.
Okay. Wow. David, you hear at the main computer where he's working, Harold's working, you hear a alarm charm from the actual computer. And go ahead for me, McAllister, and make a strength check as well. You need an 8 or better, adding your strength to it.
Alrighty. That is a 6 plus 2 strength, so 8 even.
Nice. You hear a single alarm blip go off, and you, out of the corner of your eye, Dr. Barner, you see Harold quickly slide a hand over and hit a button on the keyboard that mutes that alarm button on the computer.
Okay.
But you're... Yeah, let's make an 8 check here. You're going to need an 8. We're going to add your education to this again real quick.
And that's McAllister?
No, that's you. That's you, Barner.
That's me? Okay, yeah. Barner? Okay. Uh-oh. Nope, 7.
Okay, So anyway, you've seen this. You've seen this much. You've heard an alarm on his computer go off. He's quickly slid over and hit a button when that noise on the computer goes off.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Based upon my background as the medical officer, even though Harold muted that alarm, would it sound familiar to me at all?
Yeah, as a doctor working in medical computers and units, that's an alarm. That is an alarm that there is elevated vitals on one of the two in the pods.
Okay.
Not necessarily in an emergency cardiac arrest, but that he would have.
An alarm is an alarm.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a chime that tells you. Right. Yeah. So you're able to discern.
Hey, you may want to look at this. Okay. I will turn towards Harold, and I'll say, Harold, what was that? What was that alarm for?
Okay, let's make a charisma check. 6, easy.
Harold's gonna be like, "Screw you, dude." 7.
As he turns to face you, this is a straight success. You see now that the left side of his head is dented in, where it looks like somebody hit him with a pipe.
Yeah.
The cheek area is torn away, and you can see now the network of cables, etc.
Yeah.
The left side of his head is dented. This eye is there, but the dent goes as deep as the eye socket, but doesn't appear to have affected that eye, so it wasn't easy to see in the dark. And he says point blank that he has initiated accelerated purge for the other two crewmen.
I say, on whose damn it, on whose command?
It seemed appropriate.
My assumption is that is not protocol. I don't,
no, because you're the medical officer, though. You make all of those decisions.
Yeah, unless none of us were conscious at the time. And is there any way to reverse this once it started?
No, but the alarm.
Okay.
Might mean that he's had some negative reaction to the accelerated purge.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now, is that something that I need to actually go to the pod area to actually supervise, or is it something
you could certainly go to the crew ID computer and pull up vitals there and see what he's registering. Right here in the bridge.
Okay. Realizing that I've seen that Harold has taken some kind of damage, I jump to my feet and I say, Harold, have you done a self-diagnostic? What happened to you? How are you damaged?
He cocks his head and stutters out, damaged? I do not. Would you like me to start a diagnostic?
Yes, self-diagnostic immediatay.
So he he crosses the bridge and sits at an open computer terminal. You see him take out a wire, a serial cable, attach it, and you see him attach it, flipping it open a slot on the back of his neck, and attaches this serial cable. He sits perfectly, 90-degree, feet flat, hands flat, perfect angles, and just like staring off into the distance, right? Yeah.
Do I have any idea how long this diagnostic may take?
Ooh, let's make a check. Education.
No?
Actually, you know what? With your education, you're in medicine. Your liaison's your second crew position? Well, okay. Yes, but it would depend on whether he finds something wrong quickly or whether he,
he looks pretty bad. So.
Right.
Okay.
So, he could very quickly discover something's amiss, right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Regardless of that, he's doing that, but my main objective is to ensure that the remaining crew members are in stable condition. So I will make my way back towards the pod area.
Okay, and as you do, you see the internal lights. that are yellow, letting you know there's system failure. They turn to blinking red, and the only alarm, so red indicates night, blinking red indicates a system failure, a higher grade system failure somewhere in the ship, right? Yeah. But as you get back there, you see blinking red on Talon's cubicle, and you see that he is convulsing. He's unconscious. It looks as though he may be on the verge of a cardiac arrest. McAllister, you can see his rapid eye movement. You can see on his monitor that his blood pressure's up, his heart rate's up, but it's normal for this activity. So McAllister will in 10 or 15 minutes be fully awake. Unfortunately, Talon appears to be on the verge of a cardiac arrest. Okay.
All right. If there's any kind of med kit that I need to grab or such, I will do so I can try to administer something to stabilize him if possible.
Okay.
I might even have to use the defib on him or something. I don't know.
Okay. So protocol, you would first obviously have to... do you want to administer this directly to him, or do you want to administer this through the mechanical machine itself?
I will say that the type of some of Barner's background is that it's kind of been rumored that he might have actually had some issues with his last position as a medical doctor.
Oh shit!
So he is usually one to insist on hands-on as opposed to using other means. So I think he would do it hands-on.
Okay, now that's gonna mean purge, abort. That means hitting an emergency button. It's gonna decompress the chamber, pop the chamber, and it's gonna abort his normal process. That's the only way to get physically to him.
Well, yeah, he's already in cardiac arrest, so I think I better, get to him.
And for you, easy, but Dell's going to have to make a strength check again here using your actual medicine +2. So strength check with a +2 here, Dell, as he defibs you here.
Education or education +2?
No, +2 because you're the medical officer. So your skill, you're automatic. Okay. You're fine. Dell's going to get to add your +2 to his strength. Yes, and you need an 8.
Come on, Dale. Don't make me into a liar.
I rolled a 6, so I'm good.
Okay, he coughs. You hear, you see the monitor machine as it's clearly bringing him his heart rate back to normal, although elevated. His vitals. He coughs, splurts, his eyes shoot open. I don't know if he would say anything in particular, probably not, but he is wide awake, but at least his vitals appear to be, again, we're out of the cardiac arrest, right?
Okay. All right.
And you don't suffer any damage for this. Okay. So no damage, Dale. You won't suffer any strength damage for this. Okay. Go ahead. You're up.
I'll pop up... I was gonna say when a back breathe and the spittle comes out and a little blood comes out, I get up coughing and wipe brush your hands away and grab my chest as if it's aching and everything, and I'm looking around wide-eyed at you. And of course I can't really, the light's on in here right now. And I'm breathing and I roll out of the thing and hit my knees.
I don't let him get out. I don't let him roll out.
Nice.
I try to restrain him. I say, Talon, easy.
Okay, I'm coughing and everything.
You gotta breathe, focus.
I'm heaving over the side or whatever, and you'll see me. I'm an old
combat knife out or something. Then I'll back off. But
no, I'm an older guy. Just in my skeevies and everything, you can tell I'm a little bit scarred up from my previous deals. But I'm writing myself, whatever. I say, get your damn hands off of me. What's going on here, Doc? And I'm looking around.
Yeah, again, you'll notice pretty quickly, Talon, it's cold. However, you may not feel that immediately because you've come out. You were accelerated and then aborted out of the proper procedure. So really having trouble seeing and hearing, right?
Right. Oh, I recognize his voice and his you know.
Yeah, and Doc, you might know that he could potentially have some issues with seeing for for a while, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm rubbing my eyes and trying to get
I say sit tight. Let me get you some water. Sit tight. I say McAllister's coming up as well.
His unit, you can hear this hiss of the decompression portion starting. So in a few minutes, that lid will pop up. He will be waking in just a few minutes, right, from the normal.
All right.
Again, this was the accelerated purge.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm grasping myself talking about how cold it is as you're walking away to get over to that.
All right, I tell him to sit tight, and I'll get some water, and then Jason is there, like anywhere in the living cubicles where I might just be able to get like any kind of blankets or anything.
Oh, sure. I mean, your
For these
beds
guys?
would have
Okay.
blankets. Sure, there would be storage for blankets, storage for towels. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll rush and grab something because these guys are going to be in a
Okay.
worse situation than I was.
Yeah.
As you enter the living quarters, looking about for the blankets, you see standing in the far bulkhead doorway on the other side of the living quarters, Harold just standing there, looking at you as you enter the living quarters.
I'll stop in my tracks and I'll say, Harold, report diagnostics.
He stands, tilts his head, and you see again out of the side of his left side of his face now, you don't see any sparks. It's as if that has been shut down. You see the one eye glows a little bit like this normal day version, this era of Android, slight glow in the eyes. That left side looks like it's been shut down, but he doesn't verbally respond.
Okay. I will.
But he's on the other side of the room at the bulkhead entry into here, just literally opposite, 10 to 12 feet.
I will still make a move towards the storage locker or whatever it may be, cabinet, to get the blankets, but I am watching him.
Yeah, he doesn't move. He just watches you.
I'll say, Harold, diagnostic results.
Tilts again, takes 3 steps into the room, and reaches up with his left hand and grabs the side of his face, and he reports that he has some superficial as well as intermediate damage to his head, eye, and face, and has had to shut that down. Then he says, again, no stutter now. He's not stuttering now. However, only one side of his lips actually are animated, right? And he says, no history of how I suffered these injuries. What did you do, Dr. Barner? It's a somewhat accusatory question.
Okay. I will say do. I'll say I will say repeat the question.
He asks, "What did you do to damage my head, Dr. Barner?"
Ooh. I will stop rummaging through the locker or cabinet or whatever, and turn towards him.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I did nothing to you. Once I awakened from cryo sleep, I saw that you were damaged, which is why I ordered you to do the diagnostic.
He turns, tilts his head as if he's, cycling this information. Doesn't make any moves towards you, nothing like that as he's cycling. And it's like he's stuck there, almost as if he's trying to remember or understand. Talon, you actually hear this conversation, down the hall.
Yeah, I've already gotten out of that my cubicle, or my little chamber, and slapped my cold feet. Or my feet.
Nobody listens to the doctor, I tell you.
And
I'm standing there trying to get my legs.
Yeah.
And kind of swaying back and forth a little bit and making sure, I'm stable. And I turn around. That's when I focus in on the conversation.
Yeah, make a...
So I'll
I'm sorry, go ahead.
treading down the
Make a
road.
strength check at 8. And McAllister, your unit's open and you are waking. Again, trouble seeing and hearing, but you're beginning to bring it all in. First thing you notice outside of the splitting headache and the nausea, same as all of you would suffer, McAllister, is it's bitter cold. It's very cold.
Freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm imagining that, like, I'm aware that this is probably worse than it should have been if I was just, like, waking up at the normal pace.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and you're the nausea for sure. And make that strength check for me as you begin to move about Talon.
Oh, yeah, I did. I got it. It's 10.
Okay, you feel you begin to get dizzy. You feel like you're going to retch. I mean, literally going to, and you manage to suppress it. You manage to suppress.
I suppress it with a grunt and turn around,
Mm-hmm.
and that, like I said, that's when I beat on a conversation when I was trying to pace myself and get my breath and steady myself, and I turn around, hearing the two converse, and I'll pad my way down there, go side to side, kind of stabling myself against the sleep chambers.
Okay.
And that's when I know I noticed McAllister
Okay.
stirring there.
Yeah.
I kind of
and,
look at him and then look back over at the doctor.
Yeah, you would come in behind the doctor in the living area. Doctor, you realize the blinking red has returned to yellow again once you defibbed, right? So there's no more blinking red system failure or, an alarm, so to speak. It's normally, if the ship was on full power, you might get better alarm codes as to what's wrong, but you're in sub-maximum power, so it's a pretty basic alarm system. So again, you're on old ships. This is a for-profit corporation. It's cheap. It's crap. It's old. So
Doc, Doc, where's Grant? I see McAllister back there. What's going on? Referencing toward the lights. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll say, is Harold still standing there?
yeah, when he hears Talon, you see his head turn toward Talon, and when he hears Grant, you see Talon reach up, touch his face.
Yeah. Harold does. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Harold reaches up, touches his face.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. I will make note of that, and I'll while still looking at Harold, I will tell Talon. I'll say that's what I'm trying to figure out. Harold's been he's been damaged. I think probably more than he realizes, and I think he's having some what should I say? Reasoning issues.
Damaged. And I'll take a look at Harold and kind of take a step closer to look at him.
Yeah,
By who?
you're almost
Careful.
blind. So you would have to
he
get
is,
really close to him for you to see him, Talon, because again, you're suffering this aborted.
Yeah, but
accelerated
I
curve.
see his figure, but that's exactly what I do. You know what I mean? I kind of take a step forward and I look at my shoulder and say, damaged by it.
We're trying to figure it out. I say get dressed. I don't want you having any issues because of the cold in here. That's the other thing we've got to figure out and fix.
McAllister,
Okay,
you
gonna
are.
throw me one of those blankets?
Yeah, I'll throw him a blanket.
Okay, you hand me it. Yeah, I put it over my shoulders.
Oh yeah, I guess I got a hand. Yeah, because you're blind. Yeah.
McAllister,
Yeah.
you are able to get up, and you have to. You both have to remove the. You have to remove the IV from yourself, McAllister, as there's no one there to take the IV out. But you can certainly hear this conversation. You can see all the lights are on, but they're in a yellow state. So as an engineer, science officer, you know clearly there's a system failure somewhere in the ship, or maybe multiple, but the yellow light is an instant indicator to you. You got to go to work pretty quick, right? Something needs attention. So you're on your feet and you're aware what this yellow light, of course, means to you, right?
Right. So I'm gonna kind of stumble up out of my pod and kind of pull the IV out, and I guess look over and see Talon and Barnard kind of talking over there, and kind of call over. What was so important that you couldn't spare me the heart attack?
I'll say we've got a kind of an interesting situation here. There's ship damage. The Deck A2 temp controls are down, and seems like Harold's been damaged, and we're missing Grant. So we've got a hatful of issues going on.
Well, we're not going anywhere without Grant. We need to find him first.
Whitty hears, again, you notice this out of the corner of your eye. Or, Doc, you may not even take your eyes off of Harold. I don't know whether you're...
Yeah,
but every time he hears Grant, he touches...
touches his face.
Yep. But again, doesn't say anything. Completely ignoring the fact that Talon got close to him and then stumbled off over to get a blanket. So he didn't appear to care how close Talon got to him,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm stumbling back right after McAllister said that. I look over my shoulder and I said, "We need to find Grant. I'll be down in my quarters."
Can you make it on your own?
Getting ready, and I kind of scoff at that, and more of determinism than anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm up to the challenge. I turn around and grunt as I head off toward that area.
Right.
I'll be
don't
back.
Stub a toe. All right. Okay. All right. I will tell Harold to monitor the ship systems, and I will head towards McAllister just to give him once over and make sure he's
Okay.
He's going to need his pills and other such stuff, water.
Okay, he answers without a stutter now. Again, on only one side of his animatronic face, lips work, but he answers affirmative and turns and heads back toward the bridge to monitor ship systems. Right, that was the order, correct? Yep. Okay. Yeah. McAllister, as you eyeball McAllister, outside of the fact that he's been brought out of the normal purge and survives the accelerated purge fairly well. He's obviously in good condition. He's had to remove the IV, but he appears to be, aside from all of you should be dealing with splitting headaches, nausea, right? And again, there is the post medication that's protocol. I don't know if you took it, Doc. But the other two, you'll have to make a medical decision as to whether you would administer this medication to the other two.
Yeah, I don't think there's a reason not to, especially since McAllister's vitals seem to be fairly normal. So I will make sure that he gets the pills, the dosage, and some H2O, and I will give him a blanket.
Okay.
And I'll say you better get some gear on as soon as you can, because I think it's going to be a moment before we can figure out what's going on with the temp controls.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of hold out a hand. Don't even wait for him to suggest the pills. I just kind of hold out a hand as he's walking up to me, and I can snatch down it right away, and then kind of nod as he's telling me, and I go off toward the to go get dressed.
Okay. I'm assuming you're all in that living area pretty much now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's one.
I'm checking security. Checking my security locker.
Your locker or the security locker?
The security locker for I have to get dressed or whatever, because if I make my way down there, before they're able to get down there, they'll see me head out toward the security locker to I want to see if anything's taken.
Security locker is just as you enter the bridge on the port side. So you'll have to go through the out of the living area, through the kitchens, past the bathrooms, into the bridge with Harold, who's up there monitoring ship right.
Okay. Well, after I pass them in a certain thing, I'll say, "Hold tight. I'll be back with some, with some stun pistols." We don't know what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, and you're beginning now to see the outline of things. The lights are the yellow lights now. You can make out the color of the lights, but you're still pretty much feeling your way based on memory and You can't make out details yet, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You sure you want to be walking around, or you need to sit down for a while before give your symptoms a chance to get back to get yourself back to normal?
Well, I scoff at that again too, and then turn around and head on.
Okay.
A little bit bullshit or whatever. I'm going to do what I need to do.
You hear me mumble. You hear me mumble. Damn you! As you walk away.
Yeah, we're dealing with a situation here. We came out, and there's obviously some kind of something's on the ship that I need to secure right now.
Okay.
So anyway,
you can use your security card chip.
Yeah,
to
use my chip.
Yep, to open that locker. By rote that the stun guns are on the left, the ballistic pistols are in the middle. There's 2 stun guns, 2 shotguns, 1 ballistic pistol. So on the left are the stun guns. There's 2 of them, right?
If I can focus in on that, make sure they're all there count wise.
It seems though the pistol is missing. As you count 1 stun gun, 2 stun guns, slide over. There's a hole there. Then shotgun.
So one of the 2 pistols is missing.
Correct.
Security pistols.
Correct.
Okay.
And
let my hands linger over that area.
Right. And prior to long sleep, you inventoried. There was one locked in there when you shut it down to long sleep.
Yeah, I know it. I'm standing there and like I said, I run my hand over the empty spot, feeling around for it, and then give a little curse as I push the inside of the locker a little bit. And I'll reach over and grab the 2 stuns and the other pistol, holster it myself, and shut and secure the locker.
As you do, standing right there is Harold. So as you shut the locker, there's Harold standing right there, right on top of you.
Yeah. He gives me a start. Because obviously I didn't hear him approach. And it'll start. It'll drop right off of me. Damn you,
Scott! Why are you getting weapons from the weapons locker?
Who injured you, Harold? Where's Grant?
Cocks his head, turns. Again, it's kind of a hiccup as he seems to be trying to process that information.
Yeah. When did Grant leave his pod?
He turns back towards you, reaches up when you say Grant, touches his face down, and says, "The doctor, I believe, damaged my face. I've asked him already about why he damaged my head."
So your injury just occurred. The
Cocks
doctor
his head as if he's trying to process this information.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor does not have my ID chip to this locker.
His hand moves remarkably fast, as only androids can, and he has your ID chip that's hanging around your neck. Snaps up, and he's holding your ID chip, looking at it. That is correct. You have your ID chip, and he drops it and returns his hand to his side.
Okay. I take a step back and look at him queerly, and put it back on. And I say, "Go." I'll say, "Follow me," and then I'll turn back and head my way back to the others.
Okay. So McAllister, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Del. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were.
No. I was just going to say, but I'll be constantly kind of looking over my shoulder and making sure I keep a little distance from
your security expertise. You're reminded very quickly, although he is not a combat android, etc., that his reflexes and things are remarkably fast. Right when he grabbed that ID chip to look at it, you were quickly reminded that there's a certain heightened physical acumen to these mechanical androids. McAllister, you're dressed and everything, I'm assuming, right? You've gotten dressed. What is it you want to do, McAllister?
Just kind of waiting for the pills to kick in and kind of keeping watch and seeing what everybody's doing.
Yeah, by the time you're dressed, you definitely feel the headache begin to subside, and the nausea. When you first gulped down those pills, you thought you might bring them up immediately, but you fought that, and you're beginning to feel the headache already subside. Hearing is improving. You're now seeing a little more clear, McAllister, as Talon and Harold enter the living chamber with the doctor and you, all four of you now in the living unit chamber.
Okay. I'll gesture toward Talon and Doc, and silently as we come in, and he's behind me, and I'll turn around over my shoulder and look at Harold. Harold, watch the door, and then I'll gesture toward the other to go to the other end of the room and find some kind of a little quiet place.
Okay.
If y'all follow the suit.
The best place would be right at the bulkhead entering the long sleep chamber. Between the long sleep chamber and the living area would be that bulkhead door, farthest from the entrance into this room. You're all huddled together there.
Okay. I'll sit down, speak low, and get little glances intermediately over to Harold to make sure if he is looking or listening, which he probably is. Nevertheless, I'll give him a rundown. I went to the security locker and opened up. Now, mind you, I took inventory before we departed. There were 2 stun pistols, and then I produced them. Keep these on you. There were 2 security pistols and 1 shotgun. Mm-hmm. And then I showed them the other security pistol I have, and then reholster it. There's a security pistol missing. I left the shotgun in there. We don't need to blow a hole in this tin can. And I don't, but you need to know that someone got in this. We're dealing with a situation here. Got into the security locker. They have a pistol that can. In other words, we're on high alert here, gentlemen.
Jason, do we have any?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to let you know from the cold, as it's starting to creep in, Doc, you're starting to feel that you're going to be adversely affected with agility. You're starting to feel numbness in your fingers. Your teeth are chattering a bit, right? Because you've been up almost an hour or so in this cold, so you're starting to feel this acutely, Doctor. That there's some issues there. Talon maybe not yet feeling these effects, and McAllister not yet, as you were in the warm cocoon of those long sleep chambers. But Doctor, you're definitely becoming aware that it's affecting your thinking, and as you're just focused on how cold you are, right? Digits are getting cold, fingers are freezing. Yeah.
Oh, I'm aware of it since I've been handling the metal and up and down the stairs and everything and whatnot. But that's when I'll say, and what's wrong with the damn heat? And I'll glance over at McAllister. You think you can get us back online with the heat?
I think you and I both. Can't say.
Okay.
We'll have to take a look at it.
Yeah. We need to make our way there. Is that agreed? Is that the situation? I don't know who can survive in this cold for long, but I suspect he may malfunction on us. I glance toward Harold again. Yeah, but I don't say the word. Yeah, I say malfunction under the breath with a knowing glance and a gesture.
It's too late for that. He's already going down that road.
Yeah,
we'll just have to keep an eye on him. We can't linger here too much longer in the cold.
I agree. And you guys are seeing me. I'm starting to shiver.
Okay, maybe we can just leave him in here at the bulk. Shut the bulkhead and leave him in here until we figure this out.
Now,
we don't need to deal with a rogue android.
do you literally want to shut both bulkheads of this room and lock them with a security lock?
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting. We can lock him in there until we can discover what's going on. We don't need a rogue android. We got to deal one situation at a time.
And where exactly are we now?
So you to lock him in the living chamber bulkheads, if you pull up the switches and punch in the numbers to shut both ends of this room off and lock them, sealing him in, that would keep you away from the bridge. It would keep you away from right now. You can get to the bridge by going up to A deck and shimmering, through or down to C deck and going right. The ladder.
Okay,
up
I want to get him in an area that won't.
The ladder that takes you up to A deck or down to C deck is in the aft long sleep chamber that you would be in, sealed off in. There's also a ladder in the kitchen that takes you up or down to either deck, and then in the bridge there's a ladder that goes up or down. Like a submarine, it's a single ladder. You would slide down, climb up, very cramped. But yes, if you punch that in and lock that, yep.
I'll reference the diagram and then find a suitable area that won't impede our
Is it possible to just confine him to one of the crew quarters?
Well, that's what you'd be doing. You would be locking down the living quarters. So you would be pinning him in the living quarters.
Not an individual. Okay, I got it.
But it's a major throughway, is what he's saying. So
but
I want to just
you
look
can
at the diagram.
circumvent it above or below decks. So you can still get to the bridge, but you just have to go through A deck or C deck. Yeah. He would be locked in the living quarters.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that impedes us less is what I'll look on the diagram and find, and then take him to that area. All right. So even if we have to lead him there.
Okay.
Which don't seem to be much of a problem since he's following us everywhere we go anyway. So.
Well, the best place is the living area. There's no stairwell. There's no There's no ladders up or down in the living area. There's nothing for him to get there except your clothes, blankets.
Okay. Well, I'll work on that while you gentlemen head up and see if you can deal with. I look at McAllister and say, if you deal with the engineering, temp controls, and maybe we can find. Now I'm in the living quarters. No, I'm security officer liaison. I think you're the science officer and engineer secondary. So we can't all do this. You just have the bonus far as your specialization. But that's where I trust you to do that. Now I'm in this room too, so obviously I'm seeing the blood.
Not obviously. It's
not obviously.
You're still a little blind, first of all, so you'd be very difficult for you to spot something like a thumb smudge and right. So you wouldn't know anything about the blood. Right,
yeah, and
technically, if you sealed him off in living, you guys are all in the long sleep chamber together, right? So you would be looking through the little window at him in the living area. As a matter of fact, he might have crossed the room and be looking out that right at you, right, nose to nose, looking out the glass, and saying, "Why did you seal me into the living quarters, Scott?"
We can test that theory. Surely can. But if y'all want to head up and do that, I'll begin the process of locking you down.
Okay, watch your back.
So you can take a ladder up, McAllister, one person at a time up the ladder. When you get to the A deck, it's the plumbing of the ship. It's wires, it's pipes. There are many different areas. Some are storage areas. Some are machine, the heartbeat, wires, etc. And of course, shimming roughly 12 feet on your belly, you will drop into the temperature control area. There's multiple areas in here, but you would know right where the temperature controls are. They're in A2. And with engineering, you will have an advantage of any mechanical work. If you have tools, you can even get an advantage there. I would assume you would take tools.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you arrive there, you can make an education check to first identify what may be wrong with the temperature controls, or if there's damage to the maintenance, the wires, to the systems. You need to make an education check for me.
I'm gonna kind of just as I drop in, just kind of scan over and see if I can figure out what's up.
Okay.
So that is a 2 plus 4 education plus 2
Okay.
for engineer.
Yeah, you drop in, and it's not difficult to see. This has been this area. The temperature controls have been badly damaged. You can see what looks like there has been some type of something had to have hit the unit. You notice that
Right.
there are some dents on the floor, on the not on the ceiling. The ceiling in this particular segment deck A is 20 feet high, so nothing on the ceiling. But you can see the floor's got some damage. You can see a couple of the panels are dented in and damaged. The temperature control panel is badly damaged. However, with your ability to assess this, it doesn't look like someone intended with a direct hit to damage it. It looks like it's almost collateral damage from something.
Right.
You can fix it, but it's going to take time.
Right. Yeah, so I guess what I'm going to do is make my way back over to where Talon and Barner are and kind of give them a rundown of things as I see it.
I followed you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed
So
that part.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
you'll go up there and
kinda-
deal with that.
What do you think, McAllister? You're shaking your head. Is it bad? How bad is it?
It's something. I can't tell what happened, but it looks like something went AWOL in here. I can
AWOL,
probably fix
like
it, but it'll take time.
Deliberate damage?
Probably not. Look at the dents here and here.
And Doc
It's,
he
too
points them out.
sporadic.
You start to notice dark brown splatters on the wall and a little on the floor. At the far end of A2, you can see what appears to be blood, maybe drag marks. Okay. Under this yellow light, it's hard to know exactly whether it's... But it's got the pattern, of blood splatters and a certain look to it.
I'll put a hand on McAllister's shoulder to kind of interrupt him as he's talking, and I'll point, and then walk over towards the blood splatters, especially the possibly the drag or scuff, of blood. And I'll kneel down and I'll look at it, and then I'll while still kneeling down there, I'll turn to McAllister and I'll say, "This looks like blood."
You can see,
You're sure?
and the more you look now, gentlemen, even though the yellow light makes it difficult to identify the real color, you can see like a boot print in it.
Ah, okay. I say I saw similar blood splatters at Grant's bunk. I say I think he's around here somewhere, and but I don't know what's going on with him. I tried to pull him up on comms and he wouldn't respond, but I think he's here.
Something about this doesn't add up, though. You say there were more splatters in the living quarters, but why would they be so isolated from each other?
Maybe they aren't that isolated. Maybe we just never noticed. It wasn't that apparent. I say it's this. The lighting in here isn't exactly the best for noticing stuff like that.
That's fair enough. I guess we have our work cut out for us then.
It's possible and I kind of start pointing at the splatters on the wall, Jason, and I kind of point them out to McAllister, and I say, it's possible that either if there wasn't a struggle here, that Grant may have done this damage on purpose for some reason. Maybe swinging some kind of object around.
I don't know that Grant would have been strong enough for that, for this kind of damage.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
Okay, I would put Harold in his quarters and put in the pin number to lock the doors down, and try to rejoin the guys.
You don't have Harold's pin number that you can lock him down?
Yeah, lock him down himself. Yeah, I wish. But anyway, yeah, he's on the other side of the porthole, or
Yeah, I'm looking at you, asking you why you've locked him into the living quarters. This is against.
As soon as we find out, I'll let you know.
This is against Cartan protocol. I cannot do my job properly, Scott.
As soon as I find out, we'll let you know. We need to find out a couple of things here. You sit tight, and I'll pat the thing and turn around and leave. And get up there. I would think maybe, that's when I want to rejoin them to where they were, and to walk in the room. And so, what have you found? McAllister. Hey, Doc. And I rejoin y'all in the conversation right now.
Well, a lot of damage is what we found. Look at these dents and blood splatters all over.
Damage. Now, I'm sitting down and I'm looking at him because it looks like old boy was beamed with a pipe, Harold. So I'm looking if it might be a similar implement.
Yeah, make an education check with your security +2.
Nice.
Okay. That's 6.
Actually, for you, it's an easy check. So yes, you succeed. Partial success. Actually, you rolled a 6 or total 6.
6 total.
6 total. Okay, so partial.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear this was hit and hit hard with something metal. Hard to say though whether it's the same thing that did damage to Harold.
Okay, I'll look up and the wiring seam cut up and whatnot.
It's like the control panel of the temperature controls bashed in. It's hard to say until you remove the panels and start looking whether there's wire damage, etc. But McAllister is assessed already. It's definitely going to have to be repaired. It can be repaired, but it's going to take time.
Yeah,
it's not like something he could just fix with a quick
snap his fingers.
Right.
But I cuss under my breath and look at him. You're going to be able to fix this, aren't you, McAllister? We're going to freaking freeze to death.
Mm-hmm. And up here at A deck,
pace a little bit.
There's very little insulation in A deck, so it's a little colder up here.
Oh yeah, you tell me I'm here freezing my cojones off.
Some of the machinery has been very comfortable to stand close to, Doctor. You're probably enjoying some of the heat some of this machinery is giving off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as Talon's kind of looking around, I'm going to kneel down and approach the panel of the temp control box and kind of pull off the front panel, or try to get a look behind it.
Yeah, you can see now that the crushed panel clearly severed a conduit, and that or it's bent, I should say, almost. The metal conduit pipe that wires would be in is almost like bent in two, which you can assess quickly that it probably did clip some wiring. You're going to have to cut this pipe, and then you're going to have to wire these back together, and it can certainly be done. It's just a matter of how much time. If you want to do it quickly, we're going to have to make a check. But if you want to take your time, it's just a matter of taking your time. But you could make a hard check to get it done quickly.
Yeah, no, I think for the moment I just kind of take a breath and get into the mindset, and then reach for my tool and also simultaneously talk over my shoulder. Yeah, I can fix this. Just give me some time.
Okay. All of you hear the echoing, kind of a bang below you in living quarters.
You know what that is.
And then the intercom chirps, and you hear a herald through the intercom. Scott, I would like to resume my duties. This is not protocol. And it chirps off.
Okay, I go over there and flip the switch and speak into it. Sit tight, Harold. We get some irons in the fire up here. You'll be back in your duties before you know it. Click.
It chirps back on. I could certainly aid you in those duties, Scott. That is what I'm here for as a human support device. And it chirps off.
I'm not going to argue this with you, Harold. You're damaged. Admittedly, from your own mouth, you're damaged. We need to make sure that you're operating appropriately. Sit tight until we can get that sorted out. Won't be long, and then I'll hesitate for a second and see if there's a reply and then click it off. Now, I'm over by the comm box. Is there any kind of blood or whatever that I would have seen? I've not been looking for it, but like,
no, just what they've pointed out to you along the wall by the panel. Blood splatters.
Oh, they didn't point it out to me because I didn't enter the room until after that. I'm just saying, is it?
No, by the intercom, there appears to be no damage, no blood splatters here by the intercom.
Okay, so I'm kind of unaware of this. And then,
well, McAllister told you about the damage, and
I thought.
So I think you know.
I thought you knew, but it's okay.
Yeah, I think you know.
Oh, I mean, I didn't enter until. Well, I mean, yeah, he said about the damage. I just didn't see the blood.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll point it out to you. It's something that we would make sure you know of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay. Okay. Well, knowing the blood is all I'm saying is different. That's it changes my tone or whatever. I'll lay down. I'll look at it. Doc, is this what I think it is? And I put my finger in it to see if it's fresh or if it's frozen out or whatever.
Yeah, it's cold. But it's dry. You can chip it away with your fingernail. Right.
I say I forgot to. I got distracted by Harold kind of weirding me out, but I saw more blood splatters around Grant's bunk in the lower deck there.
Okay, that's kind of going through my head because I'm standing up right now and realizing all the blood in the different areas in here. What the hell happened in here?
Oh, I think Grant attacked Harold for some reason. And also
Harold attacked Grant.
Yeah, but
I'm
why?
wondering if this could be oil. I
Oil?
call out over my shoulder. I'm wondering if this could be oil and not blood.
Jason, how sure would I be that it's blood? I bet my
under this yellow tint light without a UV light to detect protein.
Mm-hmm.
That's as good a guess as blood.
I say I guess it's possible, but I don't know. Look like blood to me.
Yeah, I give pause because it does seem logical. But you say, and then I turn to McAllister. But you saw the blood where on his bunk.
I did. Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me, Doc?
Yeah.
Something's going on here. Who let him out?
I don't know.
Let him out.
Harold has no memory, so to speak.
I glance over there and make sure that it calms off as I'm talking. You know what I mean? Just fingering it, make sure that the lever's down.
Yeah, at least out. But it chirps on. Yeah. And you hear.
No, I don't chirp it on.
He chirps it on for living order, and you hear it chirp on, and you hear him say, "Protocol. We are to establish our astronavigation coordinates and begin protocol for mission 1." Gentlemen, and Cartan Corporation is very serious about protocol, and it chirps off.
I turn to Talon and I say, "Is there any protocol as far as missing or injured personnel that supersedes what he's talking about, that you can tell him and shut him up?"
I don't need to tell him a damn thing. And then we got to find Grant or his remains. Doesn't bode well. And then if we need to, we got to shut.
And at the far end of A2 here, there is the
Harold down
drag marks that go through that bulkhead.
Okay, I walk over there.
Or I should say the
kneel
boot
down.
track. Yeah.
Yeah, the boot track, and I say, if this is oil, where'd all this oil come from? That panel?
McAllister, there's no oil involved in this particular. So you know oil didn't come from the temperature controls.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
there's certainly up here in A deck with all this machinery, there certainly could be oil, but
Some
not
hydraulic
in this
fuel,
particular
fluid, yeah.
panel you're working on.
Right.
And once you've cracked open this conduit and you've seen the wires, it's a pretty quick fix to splice them together. However, it's going to be temporary. You can let's make a roll to see whether you reliably get it together or whether it's a temporary fix. But let's make a quick engineering check. It's easy. You just need a 6 plus your education and your +1 engineering.
That is a 5 roll plus 4 education.
Yeah, you're pretty confident once those wires are spliced together and that you reattach the panel. They should stay unless the ship itself is under some kind of physical duress that would, knock it loose. So you got a pretty good idea. Right. You've spliced these wires back together. The problem is you can't control temperature from this panel. You just got the mechanical wires and things back rigged together. So temperature controls would still have to be controlled and activated from the bridge.
Okay. Where are we coming with that with the temp, Doc? I mean, McAllister.
I kind of dust my hands and stand up and turn around and, well, I got it working for now, but we'll have to control it from the bridge.
Okay. I suggest we stay together. Put your...
That's probably wise.
Yeah. Put your dasers on stun. Follow me.
Okay.
So, I want to go out of that bulkhead and work my way to the bridge to get some heat pumping in here. But I'll definitely be leading the way and making sure we're not walking into some kind of a situation.
Are you going to go through A deck? Are you going to go through... going to go drop back down and go through B with Harold? Or are you going to drop to C and go through C to the bridge? Either way, you have to either go across the top or across the bottom.
The A to B, the shortest point.
So you're going to go through the A deck all the way up to the bridge, to the bow. Yep. So as you make your way through A2, which is where you're into A3, again, here is dry storage. All of the stocks of your dry food goods. Think, ramen, noodles, canned food, dry stocks. Obviously, this ship is equipped with waste management, recycling, but that would be something you would only get to eating your own shit, drinking your own piss when you run out of anything real, right? It's not something you're obviously going to want to do, but if you're out here long enough, it could well happen. And when you get to so that's A3 deck. When you get to A4, the bulkhead here is shut and locked into A4. You spy again more of this. By the way, through A3, you see this trail of brown with boot tracks, and over the lip of the bulkhead, which is shut and locked into A4. So that's shutting you off from getting through to the next sections that would put you into the ladder that would take you into the bridge.
All right, I'll use my ID chip and try to access the panel to be able to reopen this sucker.
It definitely requires your if you punch in the normal code to open it, it doesn't open. So you use your security chip, punch in your code, and it opens. And here you can see this is cold storage. So you're already also cold. You don't notice the difference, but this is cold storage. This is where you would store things like medication, things that need to be. And in this cold storage now, evidence of a lot of this brown stain on the floor. In the far corner, under just under the lip of a shelf where there might be medications, things like that, you can see the security officer can spot the butt of a handgun on the floor under this shelf.
Oh, jeez. Okay. I hold up my hand and cause them to stop, and then do a little gesture toward it, and to let them know what I'm looking at and why beckoning them to stop, and then I'll slip down and see if I can look at the handgun and see if there's anyone down there as well, or any other thing.
No, it's there. It's been here a long time. It's cold. It's got little bits of ice on it. So as you pull this handgun out and take a look at it, it is the companion gun that should have been locked in your security safe.
And there's no one here. Is there any? I'm looking for any kind of blood or oil residue on it.
Well, yeah, all over the floor. Looks like where it's the largest stain, right?
That's no oil.
You can see again a slight outline of where it puddled, but you can see slight outline where it didn't puddle, where maybe a leg or a hip or something had blocked out any blood or any fluids.
Okay, but it does look like it was dragged in here, right?
Yes.
The body or whatever was dropped there.
From A2 through 3 into A4, which is the cold storage. And the other bulkhead...
body's
yep.
not dragged away from that location. It's just not there right now, right?
There's no body here, and this is dried old fluid. So if there was a body here and it has been removed, there would have been no blood. It would have been cold, or it would have been so old that it would no longer be bleeding.
Okay, I stand up and show them, and then I cautiously look. I don't know if there's a porthole into the next area, but
yeah, the bolt
under my breath. What do y'all think? And I'm asking for your situation, referencing to the floor where the body was.
How could I assume a certain what am I trying to say? Would the doctor be able to very roughly determine how grievous a wound this was based upon the amount of blood that we've seen being...
the amount of blood that is here tells you that they weren't dead when they were left here. They bled out. They would have bled until they died. Which, right? Okay. So that's how much is here. The other were traces. You could see where the blood had started probably, and it drug it through through A4 or A. What am I at here? We're in A3 into A4 where it was deposited, and obviously was was alive enough to bleed out.
Now, we're saying it was drug, and we saw the footprints. Drag footprints through the drag marks?
Correct, where it appears that whoever was dragging or pushing the body was stepping in it as they either left or as they drug the body. One way or another, there was it was enough that he was leaving boot marks.
Now, I'm looking around for any meat hooks hanging in here, but I'm also looking for I'm looking for the size of the prints of these boot marks to see if they're more of a young adult size Harold-esque print.
Make a security check at hard at 8. You're gonna need an 8.
Security. Okay. Just security added to it, right? Gotcha.
No. It's your education.
Education
plus your security plus 2.
Thanks. I needed that. It's just 6, but I didn't do it.
Really? With your education and your security? Okay.
Good education and
there's no complete print to know how long the boot is, or you know what I mean? It's like you might see a toe print or a heel print, but you don't have one complete print.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm kind of bemused at that and frustrated a little bit, and that's why I look up to see if there's any signs of the body anywhere.
I tell Talon, I say there's got to be a way that we can look at Harold's boots, see if they've got residual blood on them.
Yeah, or either the same print mark if there's that comparative.
Yeah, I thought maybe
good.
Grant. I thought maybe Grant was had popped his cork, but it looks like Harold may be the one.
Yeah, I don't think Grant could have did what he did, aside from Harold's injury on his head. Harold himself was
Well.
claiming you did this, Doc.
Give
me a break.
I scoff at that and I say, well, Harold doesn't bleed, so this gotta be Grant's blood here. So that answers that question for me. As far as I'm concerned, the android's nuts.
You hear a chirp. You hear the intercom chirp on in A2, which is 2 rooms over, and you hear again him asking whether we can get on with protocol. Will you release me from here so I can begin the process of full power and full flight control astronavigation checklist? Again,
We'll be down shortly,
this is
Harold.
echoing. So he chirped on the intercom in A2, so he doesn't know. It appears as if he doesn't know you've moved up to.
He didn't go directly to where we're at.
Right.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, he's locked in that room anyway, so he couldn't.
I mean, yeah.
Right,
Okay.
but he didn't
Right.
chirp on the intercom in your room.
Okay.
Well, I'll flip it on and let him know. We'll be down shortly, Harold. Over.
Chirps
Yeah,
back
click it
on.
out.
What are you doing in A4, Scott?
Just passing through. Just passing through to the bridge.
You don't hear it chirp off, and you hear banging on this in bulkhead door below you.
Okay.
I
I look at
didn't want to
I look
see
at the
that.
guys. I look at the guys knowingly. Looks like we got our man. Let's turn this heat on before we freeze to death. And then I'll turn around and punch in the code to open that bulkhead into the. I think we're in the bridge, right?
So A5, it'll open up into A5, and A5 does have a ladder down into the kitchens from here, right? And then you can go from the kitchens into the bridge, right? Or through the bathroom into the bridge, right?
There's no more evidence of any drag marks after this point, correct?
No, obviously, whatever altercation went down appeared to have gone down in A2, and it appears as though he passed through A3 and deposited a body here in A4, locked down this.
Is there any kind of like freezer closet or anything in here, or before we leave?
Just A4 itself is cold storage. A5 is more machinery, etc. above the bridge. I mean, above the
So there's
kitchens.
nowhere
Right.
obvious. Okay.
And you have not seen any. Well, I mean, you found a handgun, of course, in cold storage under the rack. You haven't seen
No
any
coolers or anything, right?
No.
This is a cooler. The whole, yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean like.
Yeah, I mean, if you're flipping open coolers and you're looking for something big enough to store a body, you certainly, as you do that, because there certainly would be storage devices. There is no evidence that anything had been moved. I mean, it quite literally looks as though a body was left here until it bled out, and
Then moved.
last you know, Doc,
There's no rotten
his
meat
vitals,
smell.
he was purged 6 months ago.
So it's
Right.
been a while. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I was just checking before we moved on. Okay.
And there's a
flip
still.
it over and get the evidence.
You hear the banging stop below you as he's obviously stopped banging on this on that bulkhead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm breaking out.
Get
But
it.
anyway, I don't say that out loud. But
Should have brought the shotgun.
I know that's what I'm going back to do if you get in here and turn this freaking heat on. But that's what I'm trying to do is punch in to open this bulkhead. Like he said, go down
Yeah,
and make our way to it because it's at the head of the bridge where we get the security.
right.
Uh,
Yeah, right
locker
into the
again.
bridge. Okay, so as you all
Yeah, and
slide down into B deck, which is the kitchens, and make your way through the bathrooms, bathrooms in the kitchen. So you slide down into the kitchen. So you're into the bridge here, the security locker here, and again, lots of protocol to be done. However, temperature systems have got to be activated, right, McAllister?
Right.
Yeah, so I let them go past me, and then you'll see me readdress the security locker. And I'm trying to get it while they're doing their thing to get the shotgun out. And anyway, I'll let them do what they're doing, but I want to shut that bulkhead to the bridge.
Okay, so you
staying
guys are
guard.
all locked into the bridge? Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to do first while you're in here, guys? You've got the shotgun, right?
Temperature control. Can
Yep.
McAllister do that?
Yeah, I'm just going to make my way immediately over to where the controls are.
Yep. That's just a matter of pulling it up and activating. It does show temperature controls off as inoperative off state. So as you pull up the software and activate it, the scan tells you it is now operative, and then you just have to adjust the temperature. And you can control the temperature ship-wide or just certain areas. Normally, during flight, they're off just about everywhere, or because you don't need them. You guys are all in your own long sleep.
In cold storage anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's just a matter of adjusting the temp. But it does show that it is operational on the computer, so you can adjust the temp, get it going. Now you still, obviously, you guys decide what you want to do next.
Yeah, that's what I turn around. I mean, are we where we're supposed to be? I'm saying this kind of while I'm looking out of that porthole down in the chamber and listening.
So you're looking into the down the
into the
living
down the
area.
area that we just came.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see again. There's the kitchen. The yellow light's still lit up. You can see that again through the kitchen, through the bathroom, into the living, and you see him standing there, head filling up the porthole, looking up toward the bridge. Right.
Okay. I wave at him. But nevertheless, that's what I turn around and ask again. Are we where we're supposed to be? Is the orbital within our vicinity? Are we at a target location? Are we off course?
Are you asking me, or are you asking one of your
I'm
colleagues
asking them,
to
my
look?
colleagues. Yeah, I'm asking them to look. I'm begging them to look.
Yeah.
In fact. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm adjusting the temperature over there.
Okay. All right. I'll check and see what I want to do is I'll check and see if we're at our destination. But
Okay.
is it also possible to see if there were any adjustments or anything made 6 months prior to now? Is there any way to see if...
Yeah, you can look up
if
computer
anything...
logs. You can look up any
Yeah.
flight or navigational changes. Absolutely, you can route. Check the route of. Yep.
I'll do that after I verify where we're at now.
Okay. So as you look, according to the information you're pulling up here, you're about 6 months longer than you should have been. This was a 1.32 sleep. It looks as though it was closer to 2 years.
Wow. Okay.
The navigation tells you are not in the Zenith system.
Okay.
Hard to say where you are, as you don't have any corporate data on this particular location. But it is at least 6 months further, or 6 months in a direction you weren't intended to go. As you route back, you can see that this was changed close to 6 months ago, right? Twice.
Does it say?
It's
Does
been
it say
changed
who changed it?
twice. Yeah, all logins show Sam number 006.
Okay.
You can route in to the from here. You can route again. You can just click over to on the computer, right over to the long sleep storage. You can see Sam went into long sleep and purged awake. Set the purge schedule to bring him out 6 months ago. And you can see there was a shutdown of grav engines 6 months ago.
Wow, what does that mean? Okay.
And shut down for probably 3 days before the grav engines were set back online.
Put back online, brought back up. Okay. All right. I will relay this information to these guys, And I'll ask McAllister. I'll say, why would Harold shut down the grav engines for 72 hours? What would that accomplish?
I haven't the faintest idea.
You don't know where we are. Okay.
No.
I think I'm a little bit stressed right now.
Yeah. I mean, we would definitely be
Fair
making a PL check, gentlemen. Everybody would, once you realize this, that you're not where you're supposed to be. You are,
We're
so
6
all of you
months
will be
out of-
making a PL, a pressure level check. Yeah.
Try to hit 10 or above.
Okay.
So just add your pressure level, your pressure bonus to a D6 check.
Bonus to a D6? Okay. All right. And we want to roll low, right?
No, you want to roll 10 or better.
Oh, want to roll high? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, man, I rolled low. Okay.
So that just means you're at level 1. So you're now at PL 1. You don't have to make an actual breakdown check until you get to level 2 or more. Okay. But you now have accrued a level 1. Where are you at there, Talon?
Okay. I actually got a 10. So I calm my nerves or whatever. And
what were we adding to that?
Your pressure bonus, which is your strength and your education.
Oh, okay. But target number, what were we trying to get?
10.
10.
Oh, no. Heck no. Okay.
Well, how about you, McAllister? Did you make it?
I rolled a 4, and I have, you said the pressure bonus is strength and education.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's 2 and 4, 6, so 10 total.
Okay, so both of you managed to put in perspective this pretty well. I mean, after evidence that somebody may be dead and that you are not where you're supposed to be, you are not on schedule, you are, somewhere.
Yeah, my job takes over. So, that mindset fully. I knew it. I whispered to myself a couple of times, from the moment I got up. This isn't good. I turn around and look at the other guys.
See the doc banging his hand on the control panel, not smashing it, but just, banging on it and shaking his head and just saying, why, why would somebody do this? I don't understand.
Because it looks like the only bastard that can navigate us out of this situation is dead. Talking about Harold. And for some reason...
Harold's the robot, so Harold's not dead.
No, I don't mean
Grant.
Harold. I mean,
Grant.
And Harold's the source of it.
Yeah.
The question is why. Can either of y'all navigate us out of this situation? Because we
can
trying
try,
to get to an orbital, right?
Just not our forte. Our we can try.
Yeah, we're going to have to because Grant's freaking dead. So we got to get to that orbital. Is anybody at that orbital?
We don't know. We haven't found a body yet. He may still be around here.
We found the remains of a body. Probably exploded from freaking.
Now you can you can pull up any computer logs that would have registered his ID about the ship.
Oh, okay. I didn't know we had that ability. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, find out where that ID chip flew to.
Yeah.
So
we can track
scrolling back
on the ship.
6 months and you can see Sam. There were periods in which Sam never moved because he's a machine. He can just shut himself down, or he can just there are periods where you could see him about the ship. If you drag back 6 months, you can track his ID chip as he went to a long sleep. You can track his ID chip as he and Grant's ID chip were on the bridge, logged in to navigation. You can see they logged in to sensors, but of course sensors were offline. You don't know what that's about. Logged into comms. Comms offline, no antenna, no comm buoys out, so again they couldn't communicate, or whoever was trying this from the bridge. You can see that they travel through the certain sections of the bulkheads. They end up in A2, and you can see that both of them in A3, both of them 6 months ago in A4. You can see the ID chip in A4 for 6 months, right? For Grant, his ID chip was in cold storage A4 for 6 months. You see, as of today at 1700. Matter of fact, I wrote this in our Discord channel. The date stamps are the time stamps of today, right? This was I timed out everybody's. I timed out before the session started. If you saw that, 1736, Sam has entered C deck aft airlock. 1737, airlock engaged. 1738, airlock closed. 1740, vitals for the doctor. Then, of course, so this this is exactly what the computer logs would look like all the way throughout the history of the ship. So Sam at some point entered C deck at 1736. How many? 40 minutes, 34 minutes, 24 minutes before you were awakened.
He put Grant out the airlock. Okay, that's what he did. Okay.
So you can and again you can see the ID chip for Grant with him in that which I didn't put there because for mystery reasons. But the gist is ID chip no longer on ship. And after right.
Yeah, that's what he did. He threw him out into space.
Okay, I turn around and my jaw drops a little bit. And
let's make another pressure check, gentlemen.
Oh yeah,
as now you know for a fact something went down between these two.
Yeah. Okay.
You need a 10. Add your pressure bonus.
I failed that one. So
okay. So you're at PL1. McAllister?
Yeah, I'm at.
I failed as well.
Okay, so you're at PL1. How about you, Doctor?
I'm at 2 now.
Okay, so now you need to make a D6 check. If you roll a 1, you're going to have a bit of an episode, we call it.
4.
Okay, so again, you're feeling the pressure. You're starting to really contemplate. I don't know what you're doing, but you fortunately control yourself, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Why the hell would Harold murder Grant and then try to hide it from us? What the hell? And then go off course. What the hell's going on here? I turn to Talon and I say, is Cartan, is there something going on that you're not telling us? Some kind of security measures or something that are in place here?
Okay, I turn at you and kind of give you the evil eye. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, man.
I'm in this situation with you too, and
all right.
I pegged him right.
That sounds like the pressure's getting to the doctor. I love it.
Yeah. So when we're standing here, you said something about how long was the grav engines down?
3 days.
3 days, yeah. 72 hours, yeah. I mean, I'm no engineer.
It takes 12 hours to shut down the grav engines. And it takes, about 6 hours to fully boot up the grav engines. So the 3 days, 12 of those 72 would have been just shutting down the grav engines, yeah. And then another 6 to get them back online. So 18 of those 72, it would have been decelerated and ultimately stopped at maximal deceleration.
Mm.
Yeah, and that coincided with Harold on the ship as far as his logs, what he's doing. So he's doing it. Maybe
our ship doesn't have like a security cam system, does it?
That's a good question. There would be some in living quarters, some in the bridge, and some certainly on the survey C deck, which is the science and survey module for that you would of course use as an orbital once you get into the position you wanted to survey the moon.
Okay,
and yeah, there would be of course some record unless they were shut off or inoperational at the time.
Well, if they're live right now, we can just turn them on and watch him monitoring what he's doing from inside the room.
He's standing and staring at the
monitor
up the gangplank into the bridge bulkhead, right?
Oh, he's watching us.
Yes, he's watching that door from his porthole. He's watching your door.
Oh, okay. Talon, is there any way you can pull up the living quarters security?
That's what I was saying. I want to turn that on and monitor.
From previously, so we can see possibly what might have happened to Grant.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm getting at.
Okay.
We know, but
I do a little pause at the door, and then I look at him again, and I turn around and head over toward that monitor, and
So as you all huddle around the camera monitor, you scroll back 6 months to the morning in which he purged Grant. And again, there's only a camera in the bridge, camera in the living quarters, and a camera is on C deck. A deck has no cameras; it's mostly storage and maintenance and equipment and machines. And sure enough, it flickers, comes to life in black and white. It is lit by just the floor lights, but who knows what color, black and white. But you can see, you can't make out details, but you can see through that bulkhead out of long sleep, you can see Grant, who you think is Grant, stumble through as if he was thrown or pitched into that room. You can see him get up, Doctor, as you all watch on the monitors as he's stands putting his hand on a center table where you would relax to play cards, a bolted down table, and you can see him wipe his face, and you can see as he turns to his locker, you can see where he touches it, Doc, where he would have deposited a blood stain. You can see him fish out of the locker as entering the scene. Basically dark, but you can see him standing over Grant as Grant suits up in civvies and boots on, putting the hand that he clearly wiped his nose, blood, on the bed. So, Doc, you've now seen where he deposited his hand. In 2 instances, he might have left blood. You see, once he's barely zipped up his hoodie, etc., you see Sam help him to his feet rather violently and throw him toward the bridge, which again, they leave camera, flickers off as they leave that area, and that flickers back on the bridge as you see him deposit roughly Grant in the one of your chairs there at navigation, and says something you can't hear. There's no sound here, but you hear him talking to Grant. You hear him, or you see him reach down, flip up the monitor on, and you see him by the holding Grant by the back of the head, forcing him to type in something, right? Which probably was the as the helm officer was probably either coordinates, hard for you to say, or was when he shut down the grav engines. That would be your best guess of what he's forcing him to do here.
Okay.
They exit
is there a time marker on the thing?
Yeah, it matched with all of the logs that the doctor... It matches with the time logs the doctor looked up already when they were both logged into the bridge. And right.
That's all we need to see. You need to get that shotgun, Talon, and blow his freaking head off before he tries to kill us.
Okay.
And then, of course, you see him as they cross back through the living quarters. He's pitching him through. You can see once they pass through the living quarters, because again, the ladder up to A deck is off camera, but you know, based on the timestamps, that they end up in A2, they end up in A3, they end up in depositing Grant's body in A4 and locking the cold storage bulkheads. So you know what happens, although it's not on camera.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Go
ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say, is there any way I can control these bulkheads from the main deck as far as locking them down?
Security override for emergency situations only when we're condition red.
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
So it would be a situation where the ship was in dire... Oh, did we lose Dell? Okay, there he is. You froze.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
So yes, there are security overrides to shut down any bulkheads if there is an emergency condition red situation.
Okay, well, we might need to make that emergency situation a reality.
You guys notice, by the way, everything is still...
We can either purge him.
By the way, just so you know, everything is still yellow light, which means there's some system failures somewhere else.
Okay, so besides the
temperature, right?
The temperature, okay.
Well, we're halfway there as far as the red, but if we could purge him out of the airlock, where's the airlock located from this current
airlock
location?
Is the only airlock here is in A1, which is the very aft A section, and C aft.
He's in 2.
And C aft, which is the airlock in which you would do spacewalks or exit the orbital, right? There are spacesuits in C deck. C deck is the orbital, but there are spacesuits with an airlock there where you could do spacewalks. Matter of fact, that's part of your protocol during this initial shutdown phase before you set up the ship. You know, you would have to do an external ship walk.
Yeah, but right now, all I want to do is shut down, go into code red, open that back door leading to A1, and then shut that bulkhead and open up and the other exits, and then open up the airlock.
All right, so tell me how you gentlemen are going to create code red.
Why are you trying to get so fancy about it? Just blow his freaking head off.
I don't know if it'll come off that easy, but I mean, we're dealing with an sorry here. You know what I mean? If we can take the bait, they can do that. Get him in arrears.
Oh we're gonna die. We're gonna die.
Code red. It was bleeping red when you got out, right? I don't know.
It was blinking It was blinking code red because you went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah, that's why.
There was a system alarm that the doctor was able to assess immediately, but right.
Well, enough of these pressure bumps, it could happen again. As far as the cardiac arrest,
right?
I look at the engineer, McAllister. Is there any way to bring up a situation where we can raise the red alert so I can gain control over these momentarily, so I can gain control over this? You know, shut down the life support systems. If we can get into our suits and shut down the life support systems, then I can have access to it. So, but the suits are in the back. If we want to retrieve them...
The suits are in C deck below you in the aft.
Yeah. If we want to get that and bring them up and suit up, temporarily turn off life support system, and then maybe lead him out, right? You want to go that route?
I see no reason that shouldn't work.
So, I guess I'm the one to do that.
So you're going to create a condition red by shutting off life support.
Yeah, from the bridge. I need to go get
just so you know, shutting down life support wouldn't be a condition red because life support's off when you guys are in the long sleep units anyway.
Oh, okay.
But there's ways to create it,
right.
but that would just shut off life support. It wouldn't trigger a condition red.
Well, I look at the science officer and the engineer and you know, ask for his advice on how we can do this, like I did initially before I went off on that tangent. What do you think, McAllister? What can we do to raise the code red?
Would it raise a code red if we blasted a hole in a wall somewhere?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, but
yeah, if you that's right. If you breach the hole, no doubt, code red. Yeah, right.
What if
What
if one of the airlocks? Well, yeah, okay.
Maybe there
as
could
long
be
as
some
we're
kind
in
of
suits first.
Yeah, any kind of decompression would probably do it, right? Any kind of unwarranted decompression.
Yeah, but it could be.
To give you an idea, again, this wouldn't be spoiling it, Doctor. You would understand that if an ID chip one of the crew ID chips was offline or did not register life, could set off a condition red.
Because it was as if
it would look as if somebody died.
Yeah.
Or right.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that would be something, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I take that ID chip off my neck and lay it down as I'm walking over toward the toward the panel to access the bulkheads, and I put my heel to that chip.
Okay. Instantly, within a few seconds, you see the light turn from yellow, all the lights on the ship, and they go to a flashing red. You hear the intercom switch on,
Harold.
and you hear Harold speaking to the bridge intercom. Scott, why do we have a condition red? Do you need my help?
Yes, we have a whole bridge. I need you to go into A1. Here, I'll open it for you. And I'm going to shut off, before I open from A1 to A2, shut off the bulkhead leading from A1 to any other exit.
Oh, so you want to shut down, leaving A1 into A2. You're shutting down the bulkhead between A1 and A2 at the top?
Yeah. Now, this...
You just want to make sure he can't go up A1 and back. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then after I do that, I'll punch it in to open up A2 to A1. Hopefully, this is all relying on one thing. But anyway, the door would open up or unlock behind him as I'm talking to him.
Correct. So once you open living quarters B1 into B1, which is the long sleep chamber with the ladder up,
gotcha.
And you've ordered him to A1, he doesn't respond on the intercom, so you're not certain what he's doing. So if you want to monitor him, how are you guys going to go about knowing where he's at, what he's doing?
Well, we got that monitor, the security monitor. I'll turn it on to make a live feed.
Does Harold have essentially his own kind of like biochip, so to speak?
Yes.
Where he
Matter of fact, all that you looked up on the computer records where Sam goes, what Sam's doing on the ship. Yep, the Sam 006. Yep. So you can sit at the computer and flip it open and see Sam. It'll register at the date. Like it's 19. I know it's like 2 hours into this. We're like 19:25 time.
Well,
you see him. You see him in B
as it's updating to the guys.
So you see it register on the computer at 1912. He's in B1, and at 1913 he's in A1.
Okay.
Whenever you can find information, where's he at, Doc?
I'll read it as he's moving, as it's updating. Okay. I'll just read it aloud off the screen.
Let me know when he gets in there, and then I'll shut that lock.
Okay.
And
I'll say he's through. Hit it.
Okay, and when it shuts that lock, I want to open up the back. That, what is it called?
The airlock?
Drawing a blank here.
The airlock?
The airlock. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, the airlock.
All right, here we go. You register as the airlock opens. The red blinking normal code red light speeds up. This indicates that there's even more trouble, right? So the kind of the flash of red that would indicate an alarm picks up another beat, right? That would be an open airlock, right? You guys know that. Doc, as you watch the computer register SAM number 006, whether it leaves A1 or vanishes from the screen, the fact that it's blinking faster, airlock went on. Hard to say whether that meant that the airlock's open or that he has left the ship, as the computer has not updated his. So it's hard to say whether, because it hasn't registered SAM 006 again yet on the computer.
Okay.
I'll leave it open for right now.
Somebody's gonna have to go down there and visually verify that he's out.
and get a visual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stay put. You know, if you want to, and then I'll open the bulkhead.
You're gonna go do it?
Yeah, I'll go do that as long as you monitor me. I mean, that's provided we don't have an optical security cam.
Not an A. A deck has no
Not an A?
cameras. Only living
Okay.
quarters and C deck have cameras.
Okay. Did not
And the
yeah,
bridge.
you should,
And the bridge.
Yeah, Talon, you should go do it. That's great. We'll stay here. I'll watch the screen.
Now the airlock's still
I'll
open.
head down
Did
there
you
with-
Go home.
did you close the airlock, Talon?
No, that sucker's still open.
Okay.
Okay, but the bulkhead before it. I hope this ain't gonna be the wrong depth with. But anyway, yeah, I'll be on the comms. No, first I stop right before I'm exiting, and then I'll turn on the comms, and I'll say, "Harold, are you there?
That's a good idea.
Harold, come in."
There's no chirp
thinking
back. No response. I mean, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I turn around and look at McAllister and Doc, and I don't have. They can't monitor me right now. I put my heel to the.
That's right. You have no ID
chip.
chip.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So keep the comms. I mean, keep the
Yeah, you gotta
security
be calm.
things open, and keep the comms and security cameras open. And I click them on to open up and preview all these different rooms that they can be. And I'll be walking through, right? If I go through it.
Right.
And wish me luck.
Now,
Okay.
are you going through
And
A?
I'll,
Are you going up top through A down to 1? Or are you going to go through C?
Well, you got to get a pressure suit, right?
Yeah, or you can go through A because you shut the bulkhead of A2.
yeah, I got to get a pressure suit.
Yeah.
So, I'll let the guys know I'm going to get a pressure suit. And I'll check on them. Leave the back open. I'll be on comms. But actually, I'll tell them to shut the airlock down if need be. I'll let them know. All right, but keep it open right now.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll make my way down there and grab the pressure suit. It may take me a little bit of time to get it on, which they would know this, and then work my way through up to where I need to go. All right. So, and I'll click the comms when I get there. Kind of look through is there any kind of visual way I can look into the room?
Well, you'd have to drop into C deck, which is the science capsule. It's the modular that would orbit the moon. Slide down that from the bridge. You can slide down. It's dark. There's no lights on here. This is not powered up in any way, right? You can make your way.
And
these are
these
are open. This is an open. There's no bulkheads. I mean, this would be like its own ship. That would be one big room with medical and science laboratory and spacewalk suits and the airlock at the far end. So it's an open but dark. Making your way through here. There's a lot of cargo here because these are pieces that you would have to put on the ship to make it fully operational once it's in orbit, right? So part of your job would have been once this is detached to actually put it together as operational. So there's a lot of the external antennas and things that you would need to make this operational are stored in C deck. So you got to make your way in the dark through this. When you get to the far end, of course, you can suit up in a normal pressure suit. There's also the spacewalk suits, the SPUVs, the space utility vehicles, which are for spacewalks. And then there are normal pressure suits with a helmet, etc.
I just get a normal pressure suit right now.
Right. Now, your security knowledge tells you that when an airlock opens in a space, the bulkheads on the obviously would automatically shut down around it, including the bulkhead ladder to go up into A1 would be sealed off. So there's no way for you to enter A1, whether you come up from C or in from A2. The ship security would seal those bulkheads if that airlock opens. So the airlock at some point would have to be closed to open that stairwell.
To open the stairwell to get
into A1.
I wanted to get
right.
I wanted to get to a vantage point where I could see through a porthole into the room. That was the whole premise of.
Now that would be A2, right? That would have been just through A2 to look through a porthole.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I want to. I'll go back through after I get, even if I have to backtrack some to get through there.
Do you still want a suit? I mean, do you still want to wear a pressurized suit?
Yeah, in case things get hairy or whatever.
So you needed to go down there anyway, right? So you guys see as he crawls up the ladder and passes the bridge and goes up into A1, or excuse me, A6, and you work your way through cold storage. You work your way all the way down to the A2 bulkhead door and approach the porthole, and you can see where anything and everything that was stored in A1 has literally been sucked out of the ship. Holding on to the doorway is Sam. He's gripped the edge, right? And he's half in, half out of the airlock.
And he's holding on?
He's holding on. I made the roll with his agility, and yes, he did.
Oh man,
he is an android. Pretty fat agility.
Yeah.
Just wonder how long he can hold on.
Until his batteries run out.
Until that oil leaks out.
Yeah.
All right, I flip on the comm system, and I found him. He's still holding on to virtual life.
When he hears this, are you flipping this on ship-wide or just to the bridge?
Just to the bridge.
Okay, so he doesn't hear this. Okay.
No, I'm not telling him. I'm just telling the guys.
Okay.
All right.
I say blast him.
Yeah, I'll do. I'm gonna have to.
I don't know if a gun would even work in a vacuum, though.
Well, actually, what we're going to do here is, I'm going to tell you to shut the. Shut the airlock. All right. Yeah. Hopefully it'll crush him, but nevertheless, if you can't get in, but that's what I say. Okay. Shut the lock. Shut the lock. And let's see if we can crush the bastard.
All right. I'll look at McAllister. Hurry up.
All right, McAllister. So you gonna mash that button, shut that airlock?
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. You watch through the porthole. Holy shit! As this thing snaps shut, you watch as he stands up inside A1, looks through the porthole at you. So he is fast enough to rip himself through here before that airlock closes.
Wow.
Okay. Open the airlock again.
McAllister?
Just wiggling back and forth.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm going to wave at him.
Okay. Okay, so as that airlock pops open, you see he reads your lips as you're saying, right? As you say, you see him grab the door, and you see his feet go.
I was afraid of that.
Right, and now you're looking out the porthole. You can see just like the top of his head. He's looking up at you as he holds on to the door crank, for the door.
Wow. I was afraid of that. Son of a gun.
All right.
This is a pickle.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to shut the. I lean over, say, shut the lock behind me. I shut the bulkhead into A2, basically. I'm in A2, right?
You're in A2, so you'd shut A3 behind you?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to have to open A2. What is going to happen when I tell y'all, and I recognize he was reading my lips, so I'll lean over a little bit. Listen, if I go in here, I'm going to try to take him out with a clean shot.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I'll at least hold him, and if you have to, shut down A2 and then open the airlocks.
Bless you both out.
Yeah. So
Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
hopefully it doesn't, but if I miss that shot, he can't get to y'all.
Okay, so
I'll make sure of that.
You're going to shut the airlock and open A1?
I'm gonna be right in the. He's on the other side of the door, so when we open it,
and he's holding. I mean, he's holding onto the manual crank for the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now,
Right.
But I mean, he's feet. You know, his feet. I mean, he's literally holding on, so he doesn't sucked out. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
But I want him to shut. They're going to be shutting the airlock, and then I want him to open that.
Open that hatch.
And
that bulkhead.
Open that hatch between us, but bulkhead, and I'll try to shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll get in grappling, or what happen. I don't know what's going to happen. If I
No,
can't hit him,
you don't.
I'll at least try to hold him down, and then they know. I'm going to leave that comm open. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it open so you can hear.
Okay.
If I'm screaming, just open the hatch. Okay.
Okay. So
That's what I'm going to try to do. I don't know if they can see A2 or A1. They can't.
no,
Right.
there are no cameras in the A deck at all.
No.
Okay. They get it on Vox.
They just know that your little ID. Well, no, you don't even have an ID chip. They don't even know you're in A2.
Yeah.
They're only trusting what you're telling them, right?
You're
Yeah,
right.
they don't even know if I'm alive, but
Right.
it's been nice working with you fellas. All the best. Hopefully McAllister can navigate you back. So
Now, McAllister, this is going to create an initiative check. So, McAllister, your timing on shutting the airlock and popping open A2 is going to be crucial to giving a potential bonus initiative to. So, McAllister, you need to make a roll using your education on how quickly you time the airlock shut. You can't see it, so you're going by instinct. How fast did that airlock close, and how fast will A2 pop open? It could give a bonus to your friend here on initiative.
Yeah, to kind of widen that window for him to take the shot.
Correct.
I'm
So-
gonna do a on 3 count, and then
Oh, nice. This
Make
is
a
like
rush
the
to
old
press
action
those
movie,
buttons.
on 3, Talon.
wait a second,
Yeah, yeah.
on 3
through
or
the intercom,
3?
right? We hear this countdown.
just may or may be true. Yeah.
So you know what?
Okay,
You don't
so-
need to roll because you are actually giving the countdown to him. So you don't need to make a roll now. You've actually created a countdown in which you can
fair
time
enough.
it. Okay?
I can't hear him because the Vox is open on my side only, right? The comm, or can we both talk across?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great. I don't know.
It's
You
like
would leave the box
a
on.
walkie-talkie.
Well,
Yeah,
your
I'm
helmet.
just saying,
I mean, your
have to leave
helmet,
it off
your
and-
suit would have a communication.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Built in. Okay, so
Gotcha.
you don't need to make a roll now. You've actually created a countdown for your colleague, right? Okay, so we need to roll initiative. Add your agility, and you'll get a +1 from your engineer. So roll your die, add your agility +1, and I will roll his as this
Okay.
A2 door will open. Oh, 10. I got a 10.
You're killing me. That is 7. 7.
All right, so as this airlock shuts and the door, of course, swings, he storms through. We need to make a strength check. As he's so fast, he's going to grab the shotgun, the butt of the thing of the shotgun here. So strength versus
Strength and
strength.
security.
Yeah, no, strength is your strength score. Plus security. Yeah, hand-to-hand combat. He is a 5. I got a 5 total.
Okay. I got 10.
Okay,
Total.
so as he, he is so fast, door swings. Before you know it, he is reaching for the barrel of your shotgun. However, you won, so he doesn't get a grip on this shotgun.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I pulled the trigger.
Okay, so you just need to roll. We're at point blank. You just need to roll a
Okay.
6. Add your agility plus your 2 for
Yeah.
security. At point blank, you need a 6 or better.
Yeah, I got a 10.
Okay, now make a roll for me. A D6 roll.
For 1.
1. Oh, that might only be 1 point of damage, even with a shotgun. Let me double check the damage chart. Shotgun can do. What did you roll?
For 1. I mean,
Okay,
I don't add anything,
5.
right?
No, so never mind. It does 5 points of damage at difficulty 6, which is what you had. So boom, 5 points of damage. Describe, what this shotgun does to him as he reaches for the barrel, try to grab it from you.
It shreds up his arm and to the bottom of his neck. Now, am I doing a what kind
Kill
of
shot.
narration
This is
am I
a
doing
kill
here?
shot.
Okay, it as he's reaching in, he gets it a little bit around the edge of the barrel. His fingers start to wrap around it. When it goes off and it blows the tip of his finger off and shreds down his arm and up his neck and fully completes the deformity on the side of his face as all the white viscous fluid flies up and tears his plastic skin back. And then he does a double take, trying to grab the gun almost in slow motion, so that as I see him, the barrel rather, as I see him fly back. And his eye a little bit, it was already kind of beat in, and starts coming out a little bit as he flies back and hit the floor and just slides back and leaves his own white.
Okay, Doctor and McAllister echoing through the open intercom is this huge thunderous. Let's make a pressure check, gentlemen, as you can't see what happened, but you can hear this explosion.
You can hear me screaming, yeah.
Oh, failure.
All right, so you're at PL3 now. So make a D6 check, a 1 or a 2, and you will suffer an episode, Doc.
2.
Ooh, now make another D6 roll to see what that episode looks like, my friend. As you can imagine.
4.
4. Where's the chart? My pressure chart.
It's on page 32.
Oh, thank you.
I see it right here. Yeah.
You rolled a 2? Oh, no.
That is sweet.
4.
That is sweet. Yeah.
You can barely communicate and are rooted to the spot in fear. Eyes always on the source of stress. So you're staring at the intercom as you hear it. You hear this boom. You remain this way until the source is removed, or you are removed. And once this happens, all attributes are reduced by 1 point. So you are frozen, staring at the intercom.
Okay, yeah, I'm gripping the control panel where I was sitting at, staring at the
white knuckle grip.
Yeah.
And McAllister, did you make your pressure check?
No, I failed as well.
Okay, so you're now at pressure level 2, right?
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
you need to roll a 6. If you roll a 1, you're going to suffer a episode.
Oh, I get it.
I rolled a 6.
Okay, so you're fine, but your pressure level has gone up, right? But you didn't have an episode. So, Doctor, suffering an episode as you hear this explosion ring through the intercom. You hear your partner yell out, not knowing whether this is in a, in a life scream or what, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ironically, I passed. Yeah, I'm laying there shivering, and I passed my pressure roll, right? Because I half blew myself back as I watched him.
Oh yeah.
Recede off.
Did you make yours? You made yours.
I did. I got
Okay.
11.
Sorry.
So I fall back, and I have kicking my feet as I'm looking down at the trail, the skid mark, and I see his body slide, and I'm screaming into the helmet more of like, in kind of combat rage, and I'm kicking back, and I'm still screaming, and my fingers are on the trigger, still pulling again, and then I finally hear that little spark of Talon coming over the comms.
Yeah, did you get it?
My breathing's shaking and whatever, and it takes me a second. What? And then I get up on my knee and stand up and look at the residue and put my head, click on the comm, speak back. He's down. We got him.
Good to hear. Get back into A2 and I'll open the airlock.
Okay, I take a step back from where I'd taken a step forward to view him, and I take a step back, as he said, into A2. And I hit that button and shut the bulkhead. And then, what are you going to do, McAllister? Open the airlock?
Yeah. And then, like, in that next moment, I open the airlock and...
The body just shoots,
gone.
slides out the rest of the way.
Shoots out, yeah.
Like a pinball. Yeah.
Yep. Doctor, when you hear his voice, that kind of shakes you a little bit. You know, you won't have to be removed here. As you hear his voice, you realize he's alive, and you might come a little bit out of that frozen state. You might still be a bit in shock, but you at least know he's not dead.
Yeah, maybe
right?
I notice that he's kind of distraught, and I go over and kind of pat his shoulder, and come on, we made it through it.
He'll kind of look up, you know, you see beads of sweat on his forehead. And, the doc will shake his head and say, "That was freaking close, man."
And straighten up his cap.
Yeah. That was almost it.
Oh, jeez.
Sweet. That was fun.
Yeah.
We'll close it there. It's been 2.5 hours, so I know David's on the East Coast. That was great fun. I enjoyed that. Did you guys like this little game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It had good parts of mystery and horror and that tin can in space feeling. You know, I mean, as far as the bulkheads and what could potentially happen and airlocks and everything else. So, psychotic android.
Yep.
I had prepared about 4 different scenario starts.
Oh wow.
Based on obviously how many players we'd have. So when you said Jory's going to join us, I went, that's scenario number 3, which was this scenario, right? So had we'd had 2 other people join us, completely different. Sam would not have been a rogue android.
I gotcha.
But having 3. Sam's a rogue android. Having 2 would have been a different start as well. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
Right? Yeah. So I figured it would be 2 of you, so I was pretty set on what scenario I was going to have. But when he said Jory's going to join us, I went, oh, shit. That pretty much put me in. And then I tried to populate a countdown as to, and I tried to hint that Sam was up to something in the computer readout, right? I mean, obviously you guys wouldn't have seen that. You would have been asleep, but... If this had been a movie, there might have been like you might have seen this countdown timeline as they just showed black and white. I was thinking, I think Aliens, you would have seen the camera of him moving this body, through and pitching it out the air. Like I said, I could have described it like a movie, but then it would have made no. So it was great that you guys actually looked it up and watched it.
Yeah, it worked good. Yeah.
But the timeline, I wanted there to be, if you guys had read it before, I didn't think you would see it, but I thought if you'd seen it, you would see that Sam was doing some weird shit before you woke up, before the doctor woke up.
Really? Yeah. I really wasn't. I don't want to put it. I really wasn't sure.
It was just a teaser that Sam was moving around and doing stuff, but it wasn't given any. But it was meant to make you think, what is Sam doing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But not knowing the day-to-day protocol of the ship and everything, I was like, well, what exactly is, what's going on? What are we really seeing here?
Right.
So that was good, though. If anything, that made everything more mysterious to me.
Well, and I didn't want you to act on it because it would have been meta, but I wanted it to be this kind of like there's the computer is logging everything Sam does on the ship.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a good.
I thought it might cue you guys that again the computers work that way, which you did. I mean, the doctor said, "Can we backtrack this? Can we look this stuff up?" Sure can. That's what that computer log is. Yeah, it was great fun. That was great fun. I don't get to do enough.
I could have been shot out the back of that ship.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I love fantasy, but it's great to try different genres, and this is for me because it's so uncomplicated. It's the perfect way to step out and do sci-fi, right? And this kind of hard sci-fi. I mean, obviously, Star Wars. I don't know if I'd use this for Star Wars-esque, right?
Yeah.
But that was fun. I enjoyed the heck out of that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was good. Yeah. You guys did a great job.
It took a while to get.
Where did we end up? you're like nowhere
Oh,
near
yeah,
where we
can
was
you-
traveling.
yeah,
Like,
is
what
there-
the crap?
Well, that's the mystery, and
Oh.
if we played a second session, which I don't know if we will, but
That'll be part of that, maybe.
well, it's a mystery, and
We're stuck in the middle of nowhere.
right, yeah. Well, that's one problem.
Okay.
Problem number 2 is Carton Corporation's going to want a mission report,
Right. What's going on?
and
Okay.
that I mean, if we do a second session, you somehow find a way to communicate with the Cartan Corporation, it might be recovering the android's body because
Okay.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only
because
the
we
only
didn't know-
data would be in his memory capsules.
Yeah, they're going to want some evidence. right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was going to say, and that was what was going on in my mind. If we could catch him, but I didn't want to toy with it.
Yeah.
No, you got to
Um,
first survive. Then you worry about whether the corporation gets
Yeah.
their merchandise back, right?
Right.
Because I knew he didn't
Right.
remember, but then again, he was doing something. He was sitting there to sabotage us,
Right.
reprogram.
Because I
for
could
some
see
reason.
McAllister taking his head, setting it down, plugging it in, and trying to
Yeah.
rebuild the memory components,
Yes.
via the software to find out what the fuck Sam was. And by the way, from the camera that he made Grant, the navigator,
Right.
type in coordinates or something,
Right.
right?
Could you imagine? I mean, even though I got 4 basically wound points or whatever, if he would have hit me and I hit him with 5,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I mean, he could have devastated me.
And he's like it's melee, but he technically is like a pipe, so he would automatically do 1 to 2 points of damage every time he hits you.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
And
I
I kept waiting for you guys to
near
look.
the start.
I kept waiting for you guys to look for the pipe that Grant clearly used to smack Sam at some point in the head.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. In my mind, I don't know. We were up against.
I figured it
felt
had
like we were up
already been
against the clock.
disposed of.
Did you? Yeah, I didn't know, but I figured we were on the clock. So it's like we don't know how much time we have.
Right.
Before
Right,
who knows what's gonna happen.
Well,
so,
he would have ejected
Yes.
that pipe with the body.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Yeah, I was looking at the pipe. Maybe he could injure him, but I was like, I really don't know how I can injure him unless I hit him
Yeah.
in a certain area. You know what I mean?
Right.
With the shotgun, it'd be that lucky.
Right.
So I felt like it was a one shot that I had.
Right.
You know, it literally was with how fast he was moving. I know what I was dealing with.
Oh, if I had won that and grabbed it, I would have instead of doing damage, I would have described how he folded that shotgun in basically in 2. And then it would have been a fight, physical fight between me and you, right? Not me and
he
you.
could have
but-
grabbed me and just threw me in
Not
the room
really.
and around.
You would have folded
Yeah.
Talon in half next.
He would have just crushed
Yes.
the barrel of that shotgun, right?
Oh man.
That was his goal: crush it and take it from you,
Yeah.
right? And great fun.
Yeah,
It's just fun stuff to do something different. And,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, did you guys feel
yeah.
comfortable? I mean, the problem here too is we had a different staggered wake up. So, I kind of took liberty having Sam wake you guys up sooner.
We're fine.
Yep.
Better for you to.
But it created
do
a
the
complication,
accelerated-
which is why I
Yeah,
did it, because it also
for me.
creates more tension and more complication, and it gets the other 2 players going sooner.
Yeah.
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 Did you guys feel
I didn't
comfortable
want to give
with
those guys cardiac arrest, so I'm glad you did it. So.
Yeah, the doctor ain't gonna do anything that's gonna endanger
I
his
didn't
life.
want to-
Yeah, no way, right? Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good.
I knew something as a security officer waking up with the lights going on and finding that one pod, and I was like, "Well, something's going on
Yeah.
here."
And we had all
Yeah,
the rules in this session. You rolled your attribute checks, and we had pressure checks. That's it. That's the rules, folks. We just did it all, and we even had a little comment.
Now,
there.
Yeah.
There was little things because I know several times we rolled on the target number, and there's supposed to be a complication. You know what I mean? To compound it.
Yeah, I'm trying to
You know,
remember
exactly.
I'm trying to remember. There were a couple of times where I knew it was right on, and like the blood stain, I think I gave that he spotted it, but I didn't identify whether it was indeed a blood stain. But I didn't add a complication in some of those. I just gave him partial information. There was another one.
Yeah.
You're right, Dale. There was another one where I think I gave partial information instead of a complication.
Yeah,
So I just
saw
partial
you did
success
that.
was just. For me, was just partial information. But yeah, I
Yeah,
could
I
have made a
figured-
complication, right?
Hey, you can
But see,
interpret it.
Which is why when you guys opened the airlock and I rolled his agility, he beat the number. So full success, he grabbed the airlock, was holding on to the door of the airlock. Same thing when when you guys shut the airlock to see if it crushed him, I rolled. Same thing, he succeeded, not partial success. He got completely in and standing there, right? So I was accounting for that in his 2 rolls to avoid being sucked out or crushed. Right,
Yeah.
full success.
I like systems like this because it's less binary.
Yeah.
You kind of have a little leeway to embellish or either way.
Yeah, I love it.
And then that makes the players we've got to figure out how to deal with a complication or a partial success or, I don't know. It gives a little more, a little more.
I'll have to listen back to see where there were partial successes that I could have added a complication.
There was 3 at least that I remember, maybe 4. But the thing is, what it reminded me of is like the seeds in Dark Age of Man. It's almost like in a situation you just take from that situation and said, okay, what was he doing when he rolled that thing, and then maybe later this could trip him up because it ain't an immediate thing. It's just like something that could bite you. So it's like a penny or doom for the GM.
Yeah. Well, it's wonderful because it makes a very flexible. As David said, it's non-binary. It makes a great flexible results, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, pure success, you get what you want. Partial success, but right. So, for instance, the airlock, had he got a partial success, it would have shut and cut his body in half, but his upper body and his head would have still been right?
Yeah.
A failure, he would have gotten crushed. He would have gotten his arms cut off. His arms would have been in there, but the rest of his body sucked into space. Right? That kind of thing. A failure. And of course, full success, which he got, he literally was fast enough to get in there, right? So you can apply it even to the NPC roles. This full success, partial success. Yeah. It's very cool. Right?
Yeah. I want to make a note. This was the second time in the game that David's character put the paddles to my character.
Oh yeah, really? Second time?
Yeah. You said, is that all?
Oh, Savage Worlds, right? I think it's Savage Worlds.
Savage Worlds, I know. Right when you said that, I was like, oh my God, here we go again.
Oh, okay.
He said, no, I think I do this by hand. I'm like, I know you will.
Well, what I was getting at was that, and I don't know where I got this. I know I read it somewhere or something. I don't know. It was a character I remember reading about or something. But the doc had gotten like a malpractice thing going on against him, in the past. Now we don't know whether or not it was justified or not.
Right.
But it's the fact that ding is on his record.
Right.
And what I imagined was that that malpractice had to do with him using like automated systems to do either surgery or something.
He trusted the automated stuff and bit him in the arse, maybe. Yeah. That's awesome.
Now he insists on doing things hands on as much as possible, but somebody may not care about that. They just see that malpractice thing and they're like, what the.
That's right. Yeah, all that matters is on your record you've had a ding on your record.
Which is why he's with the company and doing things out here now, because he's trying to, this is the only opportunity he has to practice.
Why the hell would you choose this job, right, Doc?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So
that's awesome as hell. Well, I thought it was great. As far as I had fun, and I hope that I set a pretty good, consistent theme for this style of sci-fi.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It was very well researched and laid out.
The visual, thing I had going on in my head. Like I said, once you said kind of like alien-esque.
Yeah.
That started it, and then with the added descriptions that you were giving us and everything, the only thing that I would say would maybe have helped me visually a little bit better would have been like a ship
layout.
Thing. So,
layout, a map. Really, I should have. So I have it written out. I don't have it drawn out. So I actually wrote down the measurements, and I wrote down
even
A1, A2, A3, and I just wrote down what it was in it instead of drawing an image. But much better if I had drawn you guys a sketch of the ship, and I would have to scan it in, and yeah.
No, well, or even just a sketch of the connectivity between the decks would have been fine.
There you go. Yeah,
kind of like a flow chart type of thing. Right. That would have been great.
Yeah, this is definitely a system that I think because of that it would have been better for you guys to have a layout like that, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It would have made my life easier too than trying to. Well,
you explained it to us.
Yeah, Yeah. But it would have been easier for you to know. I mean, for the characters to actually know, which is what would be. You would know because you're there looking at it. So it would have been better to have a visual.
Have to ask you to verify.
Right, and it would have been better for you guys to have an actual physical. Yeah, that's a great example. Perfect. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. It would have been better.
That's not that's not a complaint.
No. But I agree. Yeah, especially when we're dealing with something this technical. In a way, it's an easy system. Mm-hmm. But I made it a little more technical with all my stuff, right? Because the system doesn't demand some of the technical stuff I did. But I wanted to really put you guys in this every detail matters kind of thing. Yep. So for that to be true, I should have given you some kind of sketch so you would really know some details. Yeah.
It was good, though.
Yeah. Well, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, and it is. There might have been a little bit of slowdown with verification of what we could do or knowing our options as far as how we could access information.
Right.
Or it's something that may not have occurred to us. But I think for the first, a first playthrough of setting the precedents for the world or the setting.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
You're going to ask. There's a learning curve, is what I'm getting to. And after that, you're like, yeah, I know what I can do now.
Yeah, that's no doubt. Well, and again, I don't run a lot of sci-fi. In all of my life, very few of any level of sci-fi. Whether it's pulp, sci-fi, fantasy level, fantasy. It's just not something I do a lot of. Certainly not hard sci-fi like this, where it's pretty grounded.
Mm-hmm. I know, but you did great. I mean, all the characters. Harold was a nut job. And I tried to play him not like I would know, but he's going to be coming up on us like that and acting peculiar. And I was like the only thing in this ship that could do the damage. I was a little bit perplexed by his own damage in his head.
Yeah.
That could be, in the body.
Well, I tried to define that he stuttered until, because he was damaged. That side of his face was damaged. He stuttered. And then I thought I tried to clean that up when he said after diagnosis, he clearly shut down that side of his face and his stutter stopped. But it affected his memory core.
Very unnerving.
Right. So I was that's where his memory then was, because he shut down that whole side of his right. So his stutter ended because he shut down the broken, and it shut down that memory. So he would then try to access those memories and couldn't do it. I was trying to describe that he was clearly, and obviously if you want to know more, you would have to retrieve his body, and your engineer, your science guy is going to have to hack that brain and find out what the fuck these coordinates are. What was he doing? What was he thinking?
I don't even know if he's still alive out there. He don't need oxygen.
Well, you don't need to be alive.
I'd rather just
you certainly stopped him. I mean, he's dead, but
I mean, I don't know if he's dead. I'd rather him be dead.
But it would be needle in the haystack to find his ass floating around out there in space.
Well, I mean, initially, what I'm saying, when I approached him, as far as getting lost in space, you could be doing a dog paddle trying to catch up, buddy. Let's head on back to Earth. But what did you think of it, Jory? I know you were trying to say something a little earlier.
I think the tension was really good, and a lot of times I have trouble differentiating, if the tension comes from the story being told or the game that we're playing in. Right. But I think this was I felt like most of the time we all kind of knew that it was going to come down to one combat roll to get him off the ship, and we were all kind of trying to steer the narrative to make that as low risk as possible.
Right.
But and that was where I thought a lot of the tension came from, and that was real good role play.
And had he failed either one of those airlock rolls, you would have done it without having to encounter any kind of melee or.
Yeah, I wanted to isolate them for at least a couple of us survive.
But
But if
part of the joy
I
of
didn't think-
this level of science fiction, industrial science fiction, is shit's dangerous. Whether it's an alien or an android.
I didn't think
Absolutely.
that bulkhead was going to contain him when he was talking to us. You know.
I was
thought
worried it
that-
wasn't either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get out of there. So
Yeah, that would have been. It would. I mean, the bulkheads are designed to protect the ship from major malfunctions, right? Like fires, and
Yeah.
explosions. So I thought there's no way he can beat a hole through a bulkhead, but he can try.
Yeah, I didn't
right?
know. Yeah.
I
He
know,
tried.
but I was like, does he know my security passcodes? How in the heck did he get in
Yeah,
the
that's another
locker?
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
Did this
to
and
answer
that, I
that
was worried,
question, yes, but
Yeah.
because David said do your diagnostics and he shut down that side of his head, he no longer had access to those codes.
Wow.
So had
was,
David not
lucky break.
suggested he do those diagnostics,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, it
Okay.
crippled him in a way, but right? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to get it,
I mean, like the fight
find
between
out.
you two, was that self-preservation, or is it because he had an agenda? Well, when you shut down that side of his head, he doesn't have an agenda. It's self-preservation.
Yeah.
So in a way, he was harmless to you, but it was self-preservation at that point,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But had he not shut down that side, he would have been still fully functioning with your security codes, and he would have maybe
Oh,
had an
man.
agenda, right?
Oh man.
Yeah. So it allowed me to create, in a way, two androids.
All right.
An
I won't
android
be,
with an
uh,
agenda and an android that was rendered harmless but couldn't help you. He couldn't give you memories. He couldn't. Right?
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah, it was good. You had it worked out. though.
no, it was
All
fun.
right. I won't be
Yeah.
sleeping too good tonight. Thanks. Okay.
Sweet dreams.
Yeah. Right.
You wake up thinking an alien is bursting out of your chest.
Right. Harold's at the door.
All right.
Okay.
So anybody who wants to run this next,
Look out the window, and Harold's just looking through the hole. Oh, jeez.
yeah, when you said you went in that security locker, I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna have Harold standing there when you shut that locker."
That was good. That was good.
What are you doing, Scott?
Oh, jeez.
Why are you in the security locker? We don't need weapons, Scott.
That's the other thing. By him calling everybody by their first names, you know, that was
Well,
Yeah.
I only started doing that when you shut off that
That was
side of his
pretty good.
face.
yeah, that was pretty.
Because
good.
I was calling you Dr.
Yeah.
Barner until we
Uh-huh.
shut off that side. Then it was Scott.
Yeah.
Right? He became harmless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did the
That
Ridley Scott little nod.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. All right.
I think you did in
All right, fellas.
in
I'ma
Mothership.
go,
You kind of did
guys.
that, right? Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All
It
right,
was great
man.
fun. And this is easy enough. Either one of you cats can run this, man. So we might have to
Okay.
rotate a little GM
Yeah.
action in this, all right? All right.
Okay.
Hey, Jory, thank you, my friend, for playing. And
Yeah, Jory, thanks.
hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully
thanks
we
for
got
having
you
me.
involved enough, right? Hopefully we got everybody involved enough,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was great. Thank you.
cool.
Good stuff, guys. All right.
All
Well,
right,
enjoy
guys.
the remainder of
Talk
your
to you guys
week.
later.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Talk to you. All right, good night.
All right, fellas.
Have a good night.